Cubs Hockey on Cable 12. I'm Jack Bourne with Dan Frechette, Denise Crayford, and Andrew Eger. Another Cubs North Bay battle. Danny, 2 weeks ago, you were here, I was here. It was a great game, and I guess we expect the same tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure both teams should be fired up for this one. I think they're 4 points apart with the Cubs having a game in hand. Look for the Cubs to have a strong outing. The first period should be important for them.
Yeah, the last time they met, they had a 2-0 lead and couldn't hang on to it. Your analysis of what happened there?
Well, there's a few defensive giveaways in the second period, and things turned around really quick. The kids were maybe overhandling the puck, making mistakes right near their own blue line, and when you have a couple goal lead, you got to make sure, dump it out. The blue line's an important part of the game both ways, and I just thought they made a couple of key errors, and North Bay has some good hockey players. They put the puck in the net.
Is it different for you watching from afar as opposed to last year when you were behind the bench? You wish you could get back behind there?
Well, I really enjoy coaching, so I miss it a lot. On the other side, I guess I get to enjoy some of the people that come to the games and watch. I've come to about every second game. When I'm in town, I'm here, and it's a lot of fun talking to different people, and you watch the game a little differently and enjoy it maybe a bit more.
And of course, the reason you're not coaching is because your son Jason is playing Junior B, and you wanted the freedom to be able to travel and watch him play, and you've done that a few times already, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been down for a couple league games now, and that is the #1 reason that I left, and that I wanted to be free. Time flies by quickly, and it'll be 2 or 3 years from now he won't be playing at all where you can see him play. So I really enjoy watching him, and I think at his age to go away from home, parents have to support it, and so we're doing that.
That's great. And if he was in this league, I think it wouldn't be fair.
Well,
I don't think the league's quite as strong, and actually the Cubs losing a few players probably helped the league stay a little more competitive.
For sure, Jack. But I think as the course of the year goes on, the teams will improve a bit, and the Cubs have a lot of experience, so they're going to get off to a good start. I think they'll be there at the end also, but let's look for the other teams, and hopefully they will improve a bit.
For sure. We are underway here. The starting goaltenders, Art Stroney for the Cubs and Jason Restool for North Bay, the same 2 goaltenders that started the last game 2 weeks ago, and Freddie Rive, the referee, calling a penalty on North Bay here. Number 15, that is Rob Bazinet, and I didn't see what happened there, Dan.
No, I didn't see that either. Fred's got a reputation for calling a lot of penalties and trying to get control of the game. Hopefully there'll be a little bit of a flow tonight. Bazinet's a second-year player, actually was drafted last year into the OHL late. I think he was North Bay's only player drafted. He's a big kid. I don't think he's overly talented or anything, but he's a big kid, and a kid like that's going to take some penalties.
Okay, so the Cubs will go to the power play here. They'll send out Krieger, Andy Burnham, Sean Scott, and on the points, Jonathan Seaman and Jake Gibson.
Let's just watch to see if the Cubs try to overload on the right-hand side with Scott and Krieger being left-handed shooters, and see if they can work an overload.
Okay, and they dump it in on the power play here. Early in the first period, no score. Puck behind the North Bay net. Krieger in the corner with it. Scott kicking at it, gets it free. To the far side in the corner, he goes with it, hanging on to it, twists away from his man, gets it back to Krieger. Burnham's in front. Krieger will get it back to the point. Here's Seaman, bats on the shot, and it's tipped out to center by number 19, Michael Lucente. 1:23 left in this Cup power play as they come to center. Jake Gibson overskates it. Burnham gets it in. Gibson will dump it to the corner. He falls, puck behind the North Bay net. Sean Scott. Nice move by Scott. Krieger trying to come around and bang it in. Restool stops him. Cubs still have control. Burnham. Seaman to Krieger. Krieger loses it momentarily, gets it back again. Cubs on the power play here. 52 seconds left in the man advantage. Scott off the skate. Krieger will get it though. John Scott and Krieger switch positions. Tried to get it back to Krieger. Cubs having a rough time getting it out in front here. North Bay number 4, Jeff Hodge doing a good job. Now it comes down front. Burnham can't get a handle on it. Scott will spin and fire, and a save by Restool. Seaman moving in, lets it go, and Restool gets a toe on that one. Krieger hanging onto the puck along the boards. Backhand pass to Sean Scott. 16 seconds left in this power play. Scott, side of the net to Krieger. Can't sneak that one in the short side. Hodge fires it around the boards. Gibson's there to keep it in. Penalty is over to North Bay. Cubs still in control. Oh, there's a centering pass. And it's cleared away by the Trappers down the ice. And that's icing. So the Cubs kept the puck in there almost the whole 2 minutes, but never really did get a good shot away, did they?
They had a couple chances only. Sean Scott had a shot, and Jeff Krieger tried to come out from behind the net. And Jeff has the ability to put it up top. And these kids, the kids that played against Restoule last year, certainly know, and I'm sure the coaches are in the dressing room telling them to go up high on him. And Jeff made the attempt and came close. That was a good power play.
I should mention here before we get too far along, Tim Safiris not playing tonight. He's been suspended for 1 game. And Alain Duchesne of North Bay also suspended for a game. He's not playing tonight.
With Tim out, it gives the Cub coaching staff to go with 9 forwards, and some of the kids that maybe have been squatted for a few games will get a regular shift.
And North Bay's big gun on the ice, Robin Boucher, the leading scorer in the Great North Midget League. He had a good game in here a couple of weeks ago. Into the North Bay zone it goes. Restoule will play it into the corner. Miller trying to kick it free. Rivard's in there as well for the Cubs. Boucher gets in there for the Trappers. Along the boards, it's still loose. Miller tried to make a move, lost it, slides out to center, and big Greg Major fires it in. Cubs will change. Curtis McLean on the ice. There's a pass that goes astray right to center. Major wraps it in off the leg. Dunford around the boards, and the Trappers will come out. John Viss. It's it up to Innes into the Cubs zone. The puck hasn't been in the Cubs zone very much so far this period, and it doesn't stay there this time. Icing, though, against the Cubs. 16:02 to go in the first period. Still no score, and so far, I guess the Cubs have controlled the puck most of the time. North Bay really hasn't done much offensively.
Yeah, they had the power play has set the tone a bit. They controlled it the whole 2 minutes, and really a good shift there by the Rivard line, and hopefully it'll continue. They're off to a good start.
Yeah, they'd like to get within 2 of the Trappers, and then, as you mentioned, they have a game in hand, and they'll probably play that this weekend because they do have 3 games. And before the weekend is over, they could be right back in first place, or at least tied for first.
Yeah, for sure, Jack. These guys, most of these kids have come up through the winning system, and they want to be up top, and that's their goal. And I'm sure the coaches are reminding them where they are, and they'd like to get back up to the top of the run.
North Bay dumping it into the Cubs zone. Behind the net, Alex Bain puts on the brakes. Passed up to Curtis McLean. He can't control it. Now Brown. Backhand shot blocked in front. McLean taking his man off the puck. Brown has it in the corner. Trying to come out in front. Sean Scott in the slot. Doesn't get to him. And this will dump it in. McLean. Scott. Boys a check. Schuler takes a run at him. Now Dave Brown along the boards. He's hit. Boucher comes up with the puck. Robin Boucher, nice move to get by Krieger. Here comes Boucher speeding to center and over the line. Drops it back to Schuler. There's a shot. Scores! And I'd have to say, Danny, that was a bit of a weak goal. Stroni didn't see it. He sure didn't move on it, and it wasn't all that hard of a shot. Yeah, well placed, but
it was a soft wrist shot. It looked like it might have dropped a bit, but really, I'm sure Mr. Stroni would like to have that one back. The Cubs actually got lost a bit on their forecheck there, and when a kid like Boucher picks up the puck, you got to make sure you got someone coming back. The defense was stuck on a 3-on-2 there, and the one thing that impresses me about Boucher the most is that he very seldom moves the puck to the wrong spot, and there's another indication where he was going one way, moved it back to his winger, and the puck ended up in the net.
Now, was that the first shot they had on the Cub goal?
I have it down as their first shot, Jack.
That's not good.
That's not good. Hopefully the next one won't go in. I mean, one thing that can demoralize a team is a bad goal or two, but a lot of time left, and the Cubs, again, they got lots of experience. They shouldn't get down.
And we hope that Art Stroni isn't too shaken by that, and he can bounce back. He needs to maybe feel the puck a little bit here and make a nice save, and he'll be right back in the game. There's Boucher again, going right in on goal. Oh, and he hit the outside of the post. He had Stroni beaten. They try to jam it in. He's down, loose puck, and a whistle, and the puck was loose. But I think Freddie Rive's calling a penalty here, Dan. Or is he just saying he lost sight?
Yeah, lost sight of the puck. I think he's just putting the face off. to the right of Stroney, and there's another example of what Mr. Boucher can do. Again, the Cubs are going to have to pick him up quickly. You can't let him get going. I mean, you can't put 5 guys on him, I don't think you'd ever get down to a shadow situation, but when a kid like that picks up the puck, you have to turn and get back in your own zone quickly.
Yeah, boy, was he flying there. And almost made it 2-0. Here come the Cubs now, trying to get some offense going. Big Andy Burnham in over the line, plays it around behind the net. Rivard after it. Lucente's on the puck, kicking it along the boards, comes up with it, and he'll get it out to center ice. Fired right back in, off Rivard's chest, and they'll call that offside. The North Bay goal, Graham Schuler from Boucher. 13:52 to go in the first, 1-0 North Bay.
Well, once again, we'll go back to Boucher. I hope we don't get tired of talking to him tonight. We don't have too good a game, but he sure has put on a show. They got 3 shots in net, and he's created all 3.
You know, last year, every time they came in here to play you, I was always told so much about him, and he never did a thing. You guys managed to neutralize him, but last Friday, or 2 Fridays ago, and so far tonight, he's showing his stuff.
He's a year older, Jack, and a little bit stronger, and I'm sure if he continues to improve, he won't be in this league all that much longer.
Yeah, that's for sure. Here come the Trappers out of their own zone. The pass for Creech was a little bit behind him. Down the ice it goes. Peterson moving in there to help out with Stephen Alexander. There's a pass up the middle for Rivard. Too far. He'll head to the bench, and that'll be icing against the Cubs. And things. And I think we've got a bench minor here to the Cubs.
No, I think he gave it. Number 6 got it. Andy Burnham. I'm not sure what he did, but probably coming off the ice. Be interested to see what the call is. Hooking.
And Andrew says hooking. Andrew, you know, when Andrew started doing these games a couple of years ago, he wasn't too familiar with the rules, but now nothing can get by him.
Just about ready to referee, is that?
I think he wants to get down behind that bench and help out there. I'm not saying what bench, though. So North Bay on the power play here as Burnham will sit it out. There's a shot. Ooh, again, Stroney, not a very hard shot. He just didn't seem to know where it was and hit the side of the net.
Definitely looks like right now he's shaky, maybe a bit nervous. Hopefully he'll get to feel the puck a bit here and get some confidence.
And he played so well here a couple of weeks ago. I thought he was outstanding in some of the saves he made.
Yeah, there was a spot last week in the second period where they had a couple breakaways and he stopped them, and the score could have went up a bit. But on the other side, Restoule last week probably, if anything, won that hockey game for North Bay. He made some dandy stops in the third period.
Yeah, Stroney was good and Restoule was just a little better, wasn't it?
Think about the Cubs coming against North Bay. They know going in that North Bay has strong goaltending, and the Cub goaltenders have to match that. And so far it's only 1, and hopefully Mr. Stroney can improve his game. And we got to believe he will.
Oh yeah. I think, as I talked to Claude about many times, they were a little concerned about the goaltending going into the season, but so far, no complaints. It's been very good. Much better than expected. Here comes North Bay on the power play. Menard, number 27. To Boucher along the boards. Boucher looking for an open man, gets it back to the point. Here's a long, weak wrist shot wide of the net. There's a drive. Stroney makes his first save. Filiatro letting that go. Paquette, one-timer. Ooh, that's high and wide. Filiatro moves in and puck high in the air. Menard back to the point to Filiatro. Here comes the shot, deflected in front. Stroney stops that. Menard has the loose puck, gets it to Boucher in the corner. Back for Menard, looking in front, gets it back. Here's Paquette to Boucher. Boucher moving in towards the net, trying to get free. Puck comes into the slot, and Krieger will gobble it up and fire it down the ice. 29 seconds left in the North Bay power play.
North Bay has had a good start to this power play, Jack. And one thing that I thought 2 weeks ago, I thought they didn't look that strong on their power play, so they've probably done some work over the last 2 weeks.
And here's Boucher. Major does a good job to stay with him. Here's Paquette. Blocked by Scott, and it comes out to center. Boucher will fire it back in. North Bay will change here. 5 seconds left on this power play, so that'll do it. Cubs will get it out. No, they won't. Paquette keeping it in. Good play.
That's a real good kill by the Cubs, Jack, and Stroney had a couple good saves on that, so things are looking up.
Yeah, he's got the feel of the puck now. Puck comes into the slot. Cubs still can't get it out. This backhanding it into the corner, shot around the boards. Paquette's still out there. Comes to center, and Paquette has it. Fires it off the boards, back into the Cubs zone. Major on the chase, picks it up behind the net. And here comes Curtis McLean. Long shot right on, Restool. Easy save, and he hangs on with 10:30 to go in the first period. A 1-0 for the North Bay Trappers. The goal by Graham Schuler. And as you mentioned, a good penalty kill by the Cubs. Maybe that'll get some momentum and they'll get some offense going here.
They haven't had a shot at that. Was their first shot on net since the power play, Jack. And Major made a real nice play coming around his net, hit McLean coming up the middle, and he made a pretty good shot. A little too far out to expect to score on Restool, but anything right now is going to help.
Brevard will take the draw against Innes. We got everything up here. Music, dancers. Trappers can't get it out. Cubs will keep it in. Oh, and now they say it did come out.
It was probably either offside or gloved ahead. McCrank put it ahead, and it looked offside from here, Jack.
Denise says, yeah. Don't ever argue with these
One of the
guys.
revays had to call it. We don't know which one.
Yeah, that's right. Freddie's the referee tonight. And Hugo, along with Simon Chartrand, the linesman. And you know, it's nice to see some of these guys getting involved in officiating in the area because I think last few years we've had a shortage of referees and linesmen.
Yeah, it's come on the last couple of years for sure, Jack, with Darryl Crystal getting involved and Hugo and Phaneuf and Poirier. They've had a few extra officials around, which makes it a little better on the local players and the refs. It's tough to ref in your hometown. It's tough for the kids to see the same refs all the time.
That's right.
And I'll tell you what, it's tough on the coaches to see the same refs all the time.
And it's a thankless job, isn't it?
It is a thankless job. It's a tough job.
And the Cubs get a penalty here. Speaking of officiating, Luke Joyelle, a high sticking call. So North Bay goes to the power play for the second time in this period. Greg Major off Krieger's stick, two-line pass. So that'll come back inside the Cub blue line.
There's a play there that Jeff knows better than to touch that, killing a penalty. It wasn't really an icing play or anything, but it would have went down the ice, and Jeff should just let that go, and the puck would have went down the other end. Jeff is a key player in this team. He's got to be going offensively and defensively for this team to be successful.
Yeah, he's second in the scoring race behind Boucher, and Tim Severe is just 1 point behind him. There's a long shot. Ooh, and a blocker saved there by Stroney. North Bay will keep it in. There's a centering pass. And Creech one-timed it, but it went wide of the net. Filiatro bank it off the boards. Creech can't control it. Filiatro and Krieger battling. It's kept in. There's Lucente. Oh, nice glove save by Stroney there. That looked a lot better, and he looks like he's into the game now.
Real good save, Jack. I think the Cubs got to tighten up a little bit. Their last penalty kill was a little better than the start of this one. North Bay's either gaining confidence or the Cubs are standing around a bit. I think they got to be a little more aggressive on the guy with the puck. Don't give him time to take a shot like that.
So the face-off, Sean Scott against Lucente to the right of Stroney. Puck is loose. They battle for it in the face-off circle. Lucente gobbles it up. He'll try and set things up now. 1:11 left in this North Bay power play. Filiatro at the point. Here comes a shot. Oh, and another glove save by Stroney. John Viss sticking his stick out there, and he didn't get any wood on it. I think had he touched it, it would have fooled Stroney, but it went right through.
Looked like the shot may have been missing that, but it was close enough where you had to grab it.
You don't want to take those chances.
No, you sure don't. It was a good stop.
Filiatro. Creech, number 8 along the boards. Back to Filiatro. Back for Creech. Behind the net for Lucente. Gets it back. Here's a shot from the point. Right on. Rebound. Stroney's going to dive out there. Gobble it up. Peter Anello letting that go from the point.
The Cubs keep them outside like they are. Those shots, I haven't seen a defenseman yet that can really hammer it. Like those shots, they got to be stopped. If he doesn't stop them, we'd be talking about a bad goal. So they're good stops, but I mean they got to be made.
I guess North Bay's kind of creeped up and taken the lead in the shot department here in the last few minutes, haven't they, with the 2 power plays?
Yeah, the power plays have done it. They've taken 3 or 4 from the point now. 50-foot shots, or they count too as shots on net, but really, the kids in front of the net have done the job.
There's a loose puck, and Stroni, I think he was kind of waiting for Robbie Peterson to clear it away, and then decided he better grab it.
Jonathan Seaman did a good job in front of the net there, kept the area clean, and Stroni got to see that shot and grab the rebound.
Cup will change now, and Bajor and Jake Gibson will come out. Danny, how tough is it for somebody like Greg, who had his heart set on going away and playing somewhere else, and now he's back here? Is it going to be a long year for him? Or?
Well, it's up to him not to make it that way. I know that I questioned it myself when he came back, that he may not be ready in his mind to come back here and play, and that makes it tough on his teammates and on his coaches. If he gets down too quick, or maybe questioning himself, what's he doing here? But he seems to be doing all right, and I think tonight he's off to a decent start.
They sure need him going, because he's a big cog back there, isn't he?
They do, Jack. They need him on the power play for the big shot, and certainly we've seen his strength in the corners already. I know last week he took a couple good shots at Boucher, and you got to do that. He's a strong kid. He's probably the strongest kid in this league, and many others probably.
Big number 3 out there. There's Boucher. Having the puck go off the stick down the ice, and that's icing. North Bay on the power play for another 17 seconds, but Cubs done a good job so far.
Yeah, they have, Jack. Really, North Bay moved the puck to the point more than not, and I think maybe you'll see them, Keenan's experience, they may start going down low and trying down low, because the shots weren't real tough from the point on that on this power play here.
Face off in the North Bay zone, though, here to the right of Brestool, Krieger and Boucher on the draw. McLean out there with Krieger up front to kill off the remaining 16 seconds of this penalty.
Hopefully the Cubs will get going offensively. They haven't had any shots on that. They haven't really tested Brestool since that opening power play.
Here they come. Boucher's in front. Puck's in the air. He couldn't knock it down. Paquette. A weak effort there. McLean had an easy time of blocking that. Here's Krieger trying to get free. Krieger will stay with it. Gets it over to McLean. Oh, and a good defensive play there by Schuler, diving across and clearing it away. Looked like McLean was home free. Here comes Boucher. Look out. He's got Schuler heading to the net. Oh, what a play by Boucher. And a nice save there by Stroni.
Robin Boucher's put on a show in the first 12 minutes of this hockey game.
Yeah. That was a heck of a play. Looked like he was going to pass and then threw it up the net. Now here come the Cubs, 2-on-1. McLean and Alexander. Krieger, oh, what a play there by Paquette as he tried to get it back to Krieger, and he read that. Got his stick on the ice. Side of the net. Comes right out in front. It's in the crease area. Brestool trying to get his glove on, and now we get the whistle. And the game's starting to pick up a little bit here as Boucher putting on a show.
And Jack, Cubs just had a 3-on-1, and McLean made a nice play. However, probably his mistake was he stopped pumping his legs. He slowed down, and then North Bay actually caught up on the back check to Krieger on that play. They got to keep their legs going, go towards the net, drive the net, see what happens. But it was a good try. He tried to make the drop pass.
You know what? This is the first, probably the worst offensive display I've seen the Cubs. Their offense just isn't there in this period. I haven't seen that in so long.
North Bay looks quicker right now. Now, whether they are a quicker team, I don't know, but they do look quicker. They're playing with a lot of confidence. And again, Boucher has put on a show.
And here they come again. Here's a shot blocked at the point. Comes out to center. Hodge will drive it back in. North Bay turning it around. Here they come. Ringler over the line. Weak shot. Stroni stops that. Cleared up, been out of play. Yeah, usually by now the Cubs have had, 10, 12 shots on goal, maybe have a couple goals. But this game here, they just can't seem to get going in this period at all.
No, they really haven't generated any offense. And North Bay is out shooting them badly right now. And actually, North Bay has missed the net on close plays. Boucher on a couple, the one break-in, went to his backhand, missed the net. And the last one there, when he swung out in front, he swept it low, just missed the net. So you know, the Cubs are good, definitely going to have to pick it up. The score won't stay 1-0 if the play keeps going the way it is.
I guess what they need is maybe a bit of a break here. A block shot, a breakaway, a tip in or something off a skate. Get them back in the game, get them rolling. And Major just going to get rid of it. Right on goal, the rest will have to play it. Trapper shot pass by everybody down the ice. That'll be icing against North Bay with 6:02 to go in the first. 1-0 for North Bay. Cubs have a busy weekend. They're Timmins Saturday and Cap on Sunday. So no matter what happens here tonight, they got to forget about that in a hurry, right?
Yeah, well, you only play one game at a time, Jack, and you go after this one and you start over after the game. But when you go into Timmins, it's always tough. It's a physical game. The refereeing, you know, I hate to sit here like a homer for New Liskeard, but when you go to Timmins, it's tough up there, and it's just as tough in Cap. And they're going to have their hands full up there. But on the other side, you can bring a team together on a road trip, and that's important also.
Here come the Trappers. This could turn into something here. Lucente! Oh, off the goal post. He cut to the middle and ripped it off the post. Biliatro. Crowd still buzzing over that.
I know the Cub coaching staff has to be hoping to get out of this period only down by 1 and regroup and get them going, and they can do it.
Oh yeah, we certainly know that. They can play a lot better than they're playing. Well, let's give credit to North Bay too for they've come here to play tonight, and so far they look good as Bristol makes a glove save.
Yeah, North Bay is very quick. I know 2 weeks ago I thought they didn't look very big, but they had some quick players, and they're showing it. I think the turnovers, when they steal the puck from the Cubs, the puck's being tipped up in the middle of the ice or wherever, and there always seems to be a red sweater there going in the other direction. They have a nice team, and like I said, the Cubs are going to have to start skating with them to play with them. And the Cubs have the experience. They need some of the vets to come on and start going a bit, and you know, I'm sure they will.
And you know, I have to think that it affects you when you play a team like Rayside last week and win so easily. You know, and just do anything you want whenever you want, and then you come up against a team like this that doesn't happen, and you struggle.
Well, the sad thing about it, now I haven't witnessed all the teams or anything, but if there is that big a gap in talent among the teams, you're only going to have maybe 10 tough games all year during the regular season, and that's actually unfair to the kids to have that situation. I'm sure the Cubs, the kids are at school thinking about North Bay a lot more than they do about anybody else, and maybe the nerves have got to them, but Jack, there's been many teams that got off to a bad start and ended strong, and hopefully the Cubs get going here.
Yeah, they will. I think that you'll see a much better effort. If not the rest of this period, certainly it'll come second period. Look out for this guy, though. Boucher, right on. Strode stops him again. Schuler. North Bay, by the way, on the power play. Biliatro behind the net. 1:39 left in the power play. 4:45 to go in the period. Here comes Boucher. He's got Schuler with him. Boucher's going to let it go, and Strode gloves it down and makes the save.
Actually, the Cubs got a little break there, Jack. The puck was along the boards, and Boucher mishandled it for a second. And seeing him over the last 2 years, I'm sure that he would have made a 2-on-1 pass to his winger there and gave Brown a chance to catch up to the other winger. Boucher's more of a playmaker than he is a goal scorer, and there was a situation where he ended up taking the shot because the man ended up being covered by Brown.
And thankfully for the Cubs' sake, he's heading off the ice. A new power play unit up there. He's tough to handle, isn't he? Especially in this period.
He's done an awful lot more here tonight than he did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now, so, you know, you got to question a bit of the Cubs right now. 2 weeks ago, they bottled him up pretty good. I think he left here with 1 assist. He made more plays here in the first 10 minutes than he did in 60 minutes last time he was in. So the Cubs are going to have to pick it up.
There's Paquette, scores! Oh! Strode was screened on that play, there's no doubt.
That was a good shot, Jack. It seemed like it went on end, and he got a lot of it. Whether Art saw the puck, I'm not sure, but it hit the top corner.
Well, Wade Ringler was cruising across the crease, and it's just as he got by, the puck was going, and I don't think Strode saw it, and you said it was a hot one. So George Paquette gives North Bay a 2-0 lead on a power play goal with 4:32 to go in the first period.
Well, I think the Cubs maybe have to try to stay out of that penalty box if they want to get back into this hockey game. The next goal is a big one now. The next goal is real big.
Well, 2 weeks ago, the Cubs had a 2-0 lead and lost the game. Maybe that'll happen this week.
It sure could.
Here comes Seaman. Centered it out front. Loose puck. And it's taken away there by Ringler. And over the line comes Evers. Evers backhand high. Over top the net. Evers on it again. Back to the point. Hit his skate. Goes to the corner. Paquette keeps it in. Fires it to an open wing. Evers. Taken to the boards by Bain. Paquette can't keep it in. Here comes Rivard. He goes down. Steven Evers again after the puck. Cubs trying to get that puck out. They do the center.
They just can't seem to get anything going offensively, Jack. They're going to have to regroup, and the kids are going to have to look themselves in the mirror and pick it up. Here's a kid that can get them going right here, Dave Brown. Super attitude and a hard worker.
Yeah, and he was hustling there. McLean tied up. North Bay's doing a good job, though, in their own end tonight. They're really on the Cubs, checking them. McLean to Brown. Here comes Brown and over the line. They let it go off the blocker of Restool. Restool hasn't had many shots lately. Maybe they can catch him flat-footed here. Curtis McLean hanging onto that puck. Dumps it back in the corner for Sean Scott. Here's another kid that can get them going, too. Sean Scott. Hard worker.
Sean's a leader, and he's got a great set of hands on him. When he gets the puck, you know he's going to control it well.
There's a long shot from the line by McLean. Not much on that one, though, and Restool stops that easy. 2:50 to go in the first. 2-0 North Bay. Schuler and Paquette, the goal scorers here in the first period.
Jack, the Cubs, you know, let's face it, they've had a bad period. Down 2-0 isn't a good situation, but the next goal is big. If they come out of this period only down 2, they can regroup, get that next one, get back in this game. They got to get their legs, and for some reason they seem tired out there.
Yeah, they do look slow, don't they?
They look slow now. Whether North Bay's that much quicker, I don't know. I don't think they are. The Cubs are going to have to pick it up. I noticed they had Jonathan Seaman playing forward last shift, and that he's a 17-year-old from Kirkland Lake that always was Kirkland Lake's top player at that age bracket. Played forward his whole minor hockey until last year with the Legion team, and Legion, of course, they didn't have many players to start with. They moved Jonathan back on defense. He's played mostly this year on defense, and that's the first time I see him play forward, and that's probably a good move, get a little offense up there.
Yeah, well, I talked to his dad in the lobby before the game, and he said that Jonathan prefers to play forward, but they'll play anywhere the Cubs want him to play, as long as he can play here.
Well, when you're trying out, it becomes a numbers game, and I think the Cubs were a little concerned perhaps with their defense, and there's a kid who played last year. He's a good puck handler, and he's not going to hurt you wherever he plays, and but right now the score 2-0, maybe they can drop down a defenseman and give him a little ice time up front, and maybe he can get a goal for them.
But right now, North Bay on the attack again here. Here comes Miller. Over the line, dumps it to the corner, round his man. Anello gets it up on the wing. John Viss, long pass over for Creek. And that's offside, two-liner. And North Bay will change, and I think the Cubs are thinking about it too. Yeah, Major coming on the ice.
Yeah, the last shift, Jeremy Miller, he's a strong kid. He also played in Kirkland Lake last year, and strong physically, dumped the puck in the corner. Really hope it would have been nice to see another Cub player in there with them to try to get there before the North Bay kids did, and that's what they got to do. Maybe if they don't have a play, throw it in, get on the defense quickly, try to make something happen with a forecheck.
Rivard will take the draw inside the line against Boucher.
There's a discussion with the referee and a North Bay player, I'm sure. Maybe it's about the loud music in here, Jack. I don't know. I know a lot of people enjoy it. It's a great atmosphere. I'll tell you what, the last 3 years in here, it's a place to come on a Friday night, and it's great for the town of Liskeard, great for the kids, great for minor hockey. The kids, all the young guys now want to play for the Cubs when they get to be a teenager, and I think that's a great situation.
Yeah, I think there was a few years there when they weren't all that keen on doing that, but that's back again. I remember we grew up in that atmosphere, and it's nice to see it back.
Oh, it sure is, Jack. I know that the kids look up to the kids in minor hockey look up to these Cub players, and you know, the effort they put out here Friday night, most Friday nights, you know, they deserve what they get, and the other kids are envious in the whole league about playing in this town.
Yeah, and if they get here, they get to go on TV and listen to you and I tell them how good they are.
That's for sure, Jack.
We never tell them how bad they are, just how good they are.
Just how good they are, that's right.
Here's Boucher. Jake Gibson battling him along the boards. Gibson's a big boy in there, number 5.
He's a big, strong kid. A lot of potential. You know, when you got that size, that's what the scouts are looking for nowadays. And he's got a lot of potential. If he can put it together, and he's got a great coach in Dana Dodds, who coaches the defense, and he'll show him everything he knows. And if Jake can put it together and become maybe a bit more consistent. And he's a great one. He has a chance to go to the next level in a year or two. And again, but you got to keep improving. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's for sure. You can't stagnate, and that's what happens to a lot of guys. When you think of all the millions of kids trying to make it out there, they don't all make it.
Well, you peak at different times. Some kids peak at 9 years old, some at 15, and you see some kids come on the Cubs, and I mean, you can name them over the years that sometimes play 3 years Cubs and never seem to improve over 3 years. It's not a fault of the coaching staff or anything, because there's lots of ice time out there. It's just you peak physically and you peak mentally, and it can happen to anybody. But there's a kid. I mean, it's like the Kyle Flaxey situation when he was here. Everyone's wondering how good will he get. Well, he's still going, and hopefully he hasn't peaked. He'll keep getting better.
That's right. And in the OHL.
Yep. Doing a good. He's played about 3 games, I think, up there, and it's a tough goal here against 20-year-olds, and Kyle's enjoying it. And like next year, or later on in the year, maybe he'll get more ice. He'll get better and better.
Cubs trying to get a shot on goal here late in the period. Brown, the shot right on. Restool stopped them. They score! Somebody flipped that in from behind, Danny, and that's exactly what the Cubs needed. A bad goal like that, a break, and they got it. I don't know who put it in. We'll wait for the announcement.
Sean Scott made a great play, making the play to Dave Brown. Dave took the shot, and I think it may have been McLean who put that puck in. He's a sniper. He can score from anywhere. That's the one thing that McLean gives his hockey team. Maybe a little more offense. He's not a big kid, and he's not a real fast kid, but he knows where the net is.
49 seconds left in the period, so you talk about a timely goal, and the Cubs, for this whole period, were actually dead in the water. They were doing nothing, and then bang.
They do not deserve to be down by 1 right now, but I'll tell you what, they can take it, and they can build on that goal.
Should be an interesting second period. Oh, they gave it to Dave Brown. Unassisted goal by Dave Brown.
I don't know how they can call that unassisted unless North Bay put it in their own net, because there was all 3 of the kids were in on that play.
Possibility. Could have hit a North Bay player and dropped in. Alexander hustling in there. Cubs a little light now after that goal. Want to end this period on a high note. Looks as though they're going to do that. Jeremy Miller trying to get loose. He's wrestled to the ice. The puck's underneath him with 16 seconds left in the period.
There's 2 kids, Miller and Alexander. They're bangers. They're hard workers, and exactly what they're doing in the corner right there is what they can give this hockey team. They got to go in there and muck it out, and then you hope a kid like Krieger or Revard is there to pick up the loose pucks. But that's what they can give this hockey team. When they're not working, they're not going to be helping this hockey team as much as they can. They got to be physical. Here's a key face-off, Jack. You never know. You don't want to get caught or give up a breakaway to North Bay, but if Jeff can win this face-off back to Major, Joyelle should back him up, and Major should try to get a good shot away.
And he's got a good one. Puck's loose. North Bay will get control, though, and out they come. Pass a little too far, Joel. Pick it off. He fired it right into the North Bay bench, and they were ducking down there.
There's another little worrisome standing up. Maybe the ex-coach is coming out in me, but there's a chance if North Bay makes a good play on the boards, they got a 2-on-1. The Cub player coming back wasn't coming back as hard as North Bay was going the other direction, and with 8 seconds left in the period, you can't be giving up a 2-on-1, and they got a break there. The North Bay didn't pick up that puck.
Have to see how that late goal by the Cubs affects their play in the second and North Bay.
Oh, I'm sure they'll pick it up, because I mean, the Cub coaches aren't going to go in there thrilled with the players. They're going to be letting them know that they're not happy about the way they played, and there might be positive reinforcement going on. But I mean, the players, and these players aren't stupid. They know they haven't had a good period.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. We had a couple of penalties called here. Krieger and Ringler going off. They got tangled up at center ice, and Freddie Reva, as you said, likes to call them. You getting that sign on the camera there? Hi, Mom? Send money. Hi, Mom.
That could be just anybody giving that, putting that sign up there.
maybe that's your son over there today. Did you know the kid? Oh, is it? Hi, Mom. So that does it for the first 20 minutes. Dan, your assessment of that Not much of a period for the Cubs, really.
Well, really, the only good thing about it is they're down by one only. They have a lot of experience on that bench. They can come back. And the thing is, North Bay is going to be really happy with being ahead coming up here after a bus ride. But they could have put it away. They could be up by 3 or 4 goals very easily. The Cub goalie let in one bad goal, but he made a number of good saves. And more importantly, North Bay missed the net or hit the goalpost on some very good chances.
Okay, so Graham Schuler, George Paquette scoring for North Bay, Dave Brown for the Cubs. Penalties in the period, 4 to the Cubs, 2 to North Bay. The score after one period, 2-0 Trappers. Dan and I will be back with your second period right after this.
The War Amps, helping amputees since the First World War. Today, the War Amps meets the special needs of child amputees. CHAMP provides artificial limbs, financial assistance, counseling, support for parents, and a chance to meet other amputees. What about the future? CHAMP graduates will carry on the tradition of amputees helping amputees with your support of the Key Tag service.
Underway, period 2. Cubs of North Bay, with North Bay leading at 2-1. Jack Morn with Dan Burgett, Dan Drueger, and Denise Draper. Cubs hockey on Cable 12. Another good one for you tonight, and here come the Cubs. Dave Brown, who scored late in the period. There's the return pass in front. Scott takes a whack at it, and 2 good saves there by Restool. So the Cubs come out with some zip here after having a fairly flat first period. North Bay now trying to go to the net. That was Menard. He couldn't get there. He picks it up behind the net, pinned to the boards by Joel. And here's Brown, up to Scott. Scott and McLean in over the line, 2-on-2. Filiatro taking Sean Scott to the boards. Menard off his skate. Jake Gibson pinches in along the boards, keeps it in. Here's McLean. Centering pass off a skate into the crease. And Restool's got it.
Real good start, Jack, by the Cubs. That Sean Scott, McLean, Dave Brown line came out and made things happen. They had a couple of good chances and actually got robbed. Dave Brown had a real good chance coming off the side. If he would have held on to the puck a little bit, he would have had maybe half a net to shoot at. He put it right back into the pads.
Dan, tell us what was said in that first intermission. You went through this last year. You were in there. Was it lots of screaming and yelling, or just a lot of encouragement?
No, there's not the screaming and yelling. I'm sure it would have been statements made like they're not playing as well as you can, and you know, if they want this hockey game, they got to pick it up. You know, point out that the first 15 minutes, Boucher controlled this hockey game, and they can't let that happen. When the other team has one hockey player, you know he's going to get his chances, going to make his plays, but it can't be a total domination. And I think the kid did dominate the first 15 minutes. The last 5, I really don't remember saying his name. And if we can go through the first 10 minutes of this period, maybe the Cubs will have the lead.
And they're on the power play here. Or was that no, it is a power play, yeah.
I mean, one noticeable thing, and I know that maybe we all favor the old vets a little bit. We saw them go all the way last year, but Dave Brown and Sean Scott are off to a real good start this year. They come out that shift, and Sean Scott laid a good hit on it in the corner in his own end. The puck came down the ice on a 2-on-1, got a chance. I think those guys are going to be leading the game the rest of the way.
And they're on the power play now, the Cubs are. Here's Gibson. Gets it across. Seaman tried to play it in. It's intercepted and cleared off the ceiling.
Real good puck movement there, Jack, but actually John Seaman made the mistake of trying to move it again. That was the time to shoot the puck. I know John has a good shot, but I don't think he's a shooter by heart. There's some guys that like to shoot the puck every time they touch it. Some guys don't. He's a kid who likes to move it, but there was a chance right there to shoot the puck from the point.
Cubs just down by 1 here after having a flat first period, but so far in this second, they've got the jump. And Brown hustling into the corner, setting up on this power play. McLean along the boards. Joel gets it across to Major. Back for Joel. Off his stick. Gets it back again. McLean couldn't control it. And the Trappers will get it out, and down the ice, Lucente chopping at it. Stroni out to play it. And Major picks it up. Here they come. The man advantage. Curtis McLean in over the line. Puts on the brakes. Plays it along the boards for Sean Scott. couldn't control it. Lucente's going to pick it up, and he finds the opening and down the ice. And I noticed as the Cubs came up the ice there, Danny, they weren't skating very fast at all, were they?
No, but really North Bay didn't forecheck. They had 4 guys back, and actually I thought Major made a real good play. Came up, held the puck till he forced one forechecker to come to him, made a little flip pass to McLean, and they broke in well. Really, they made the mistake down in the corner. They didn't get close enough to each other to move the puck to each other, 2 forwards.
There's a intercepted pass by Innes. Gets it into the Cub zone. 26 seconds left in this Cub power play. And go up the head is the call?
Actually, probably closed the hand on the puck. Trail grabbed it for, probably a split second, and the whistle blows. You know, that's a pet peeve of us guys that played a little bit of hockey that really doesn't affect the play. And as long as you don't carry the puck up and down the ice, I think there's a rule that should be easily changed to speed up the game, and everyone does it, so why not let it go?
I agree with you. Time for anything that's going to make it faster.
Yeah, you're right there, Jack.
I know I always liked the referees that did your games that let the teams play. I know those guys drove you crazy as a coach, so didn't they?
Well, it depends on what they're letting go. I mean, obviously we always had these offensive teams, and we felt like if we were getting tackled all over the ice, then it's wrong. But I think the refs have to get a feel for the hockey game. If there's a lot of stupidity, they got to be calling it. If it's an easy game to do, they should let the kids play and call the penalties that are staring them in the face.
North Bay did a pretty good job of killing this off, Dan. They had the Cubs bottled up intercepting passes and not allowing any real good shots on goal. I don't really remember a good shot.
No, there wasn't, Jack.
Here's Alexander, drop pass, Rivard through a screen, off a skate behind the net, it goes. They try to jam it in. And I don't even know if Restool knows where the puck is, but he's got it, or it's against the net, and we get a whistle.
Real good play there by Steven Alexander. Came down, made the drop pass, and Pierre Rivard took a shot at his skate. But Steven's a kid that knows the game well. He's played travel hockey all the way up, knows where to move the puck. It's just a matter of getting his legs going, and when his heart's going and pumping, he's effective. Pierre's a kid who the Cubs want more out of, and I think he knows that he can put a few more numbers on the board. And there's a kid that if he's going full tilt will make a big difference to this hockey team.
From the face-off, Filiatro along the boards. Trappers don't get it out. Kept in by Major. Twice he kept it in. And it's a good thing he did, because I think North Bay would have had a 2-on-1.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where probably by rights, after Krieger lost the puck there so close to the blue line, the defense should have probably backed off. They got a break, but on the other side, if the puck bounces to the Cubs there, they get the 2-on-1 near the net. So it's one of those plays that can really hurt you or really help you.
Yeah, I guess if Major misses it, he made a bad play for staying there, and if he keeps it in, it's a great play.
Exactly, and it's a tough thing. I mean, defense is, it's like the goalie. You always blame the goalie when it's a goal, and defense is another situation. When you make a mistake, it's glaring.
Here's a pass that gets by everybody and goes right onto the stick of Evers. Evers cutting around his man. He's got it. Teammate going to the net, and the shot right on. And Stroni stopped it with his pads, and here comes Major back the other way. Krieger throws it towards the net, rolls in. Restool, Major in there taking a whack at it, but we get a whistle. 16-14 to go in the second. North Bay still leading at 2-1, and I like the way the Cubs have come out here in this period, but North Bay doesn't seem to be rattling. They're hanging in there, and they're getting their chances as well.
Well, I think their speed is, the Cubs don't look slower than North Bay right now, but there's a situation when 2 North Bay forwards just broke out, and their speed, they were definitely quicker than the Cub defense and got around, and Stroni had to make a real good save. And, that's what he's there for. You're there to make the saves, and he made it there, and hopefully that'll help build the team and get the next goal.
Yeah, since he let in that first goal, he's looked very solid.
Yes, he has, Jackie. He mishandled a couple pucks, and we oohed and awed up here a little bit, but the puck didn't end up in the net. But now he does look very solid.
He's a big boy in there. I've said that before about him. You should watch him standing there. When he goes down, it's like Ken Dryden. Where do you put it? Where do you shoot the puck? Here comes Sean Scott, captain of the Cubs, along the boards. Dumps it into the corner. McLean, Dave Brown out there as well. And puck was left there, and Menard doesn't get it out, though. Brown will keep it in. Gets it to Scott. He's tied up in front. Comes to the line. Here's Joyelle trying to get a shot away. It was blocked. Menard gets his stick on it, gets it out to center. And I like the way the Cubs are getting aggressive now, and the defense are moving up and taking their man, making the Trappers think a little bit.
Well, this line, McLean and Scott and Brown have had a real solid start to this period.
Here's Boucher with Menard. Shot right on, and Stoney stopped him. Centering pass. Creech off the bench, moving in. Creech behind the net. Tried to center it. Baines there. He gets it up to Alexander. He tried to sneak it through to Brown. He got it there, but Brown had to turn around. Now they'll head to the bench. Menard's on the ice. Back into the Cubs zone it goes. Alex Baines. Long pass up to Rivard. Stolen away, and back comes Creech. And over the line they go. Right in on goal. Strode. Nice save. John Viss cutting in on his off wing. He tried to go high with it, but there was no place to shoot it. Did you hear that?
Mic on my coat, Jack.
Did you hear that? Yeah, he said it. He wanted it where it falls off easy. Yeah,
That's okay.
okay. Denise woke up over there as soon as it hit the deck. Here comes Andy Burnham. Andy's been quiet tonight.
I was just going to say that, Jack. I don't remember you saying his name all
No,
night
not too
long.
often. Gets it to Alexander. In front he comes. Burnham right on the puck again. There's a backhand shot. Oh, a nice glove save there by Restool.
Real good play there, Jack. Stephen had good poise against Stephen Alexander, made a good backhand play, but you're right. Andy Burnham's got a big, strong, fast, good puck handler. He's got to be more, more noticeable out there, and he's going to be the key to that line out there. And if he can get going, maybe that'll get Pierre Rivard going, and the Cubs need that offense from those guys.
And Andy was so noticeable last year in Waterloo at the All-Ontario, wasn't he? He had everybody was talking about him down there.
Yeah, that big ice surface suited his line and the Cubs, all the Cub players, and Andy really stood out down there.
Gibson was backing up and fell, and that created a 2-on-1 for North Bay, but the pass went by everybody. But here they come again, right on, and Strode stopped. They didn't know where it was. Mitch Baldwin, number 10, having a good shift here for the Trappers. He came close twice there in that same shift. Here they come again, Evers. Wound up for the slap shot. Rivard's on back and lifted his stick. Good back checking there by Pierre Rivard. Now they'll head to the bench. Jeremy Miller moving in. Along the boards, battling. Trying to kick it free. Puck is loose. Miller was trying to get it back to the point, but North Bay comes away with it.
Real good work by Miller there. The third man high didn't really stay high there for the Cubs, though. When North Bay finally did pick up the puck, the North Bay had an easy out.
Here's Baldwin again. He's giving the Cubs fits on this shift. Cubs will get it out, though. McCrank hustling up there, couldn't get to it. Boucher back the other way. Krieger is going to get a penalty here. There's a drop pass. Schuler right in. Strode stops it, and here's the call. A hooking call going to the Cubs. As Boucher was trying to get free, and Krieger was tugging at him, but I wonder about that call. You see that all the time.
That's the situation where standing up here or behind the bench, and you see that call, that's fine. But then you're going to have to call them all.
That's right.
And the next time a Cub player picks up and gets a North Bay stick around his waist for a tug, well, we'll see if it's called. It's easy to be up here and criticize it, but it's tough to be a player and wonder about consistency and as a coach watching it.
Maybe he tugged just one too many times.
That's perhaps the Mario Bujo days of 25 tugs when you're going up the ice. And they don't call it till there's 26, Jack.
The old banjo. He's out in Marathon now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he sure is. Yeah.
Lots of fun.
So, the North Bay Trappers are on the power play again here. But the Cubs doing a good job at the moment of killing it off, and Dave Brown may get a scoring opportunity here, but loses the puck. Boucher. Now here's Menard. Throws it. It was behind Schuler. Schuler and Major bump, and here comes Boucher. The Cub bench yelling interference there. Boucher. Trying to cut out in front. Gets it back to the point. There's a shot blocked. And Peterson will get it out. Good job by Robbie Peterson. And here's Brown following up the play. Dave Brown. Oh, and he just missed.
Real good play there by Rob Peterson. Just a Bantam-age kid playing very strong for the Cubs this year.
And now, bench minor to the Cubs. And just a little bit too much screaming and yelling, I guess.
Yeah, well, there was a situation. They're down a man. Greg Major was definitely knocked over, interfered with over on the blue line. Actually, it was a scoring chance that created a scoring chance for North Bay. And I mean, again, it can happen, and the frustration from the bench is there. But there was a, you know, like we just talked about the last call, we thought was maybe a little bit cheap. And there's a situation where it was obvious that there was an interference. Now, maybe the referee never saw it, was looking somewhere else, but it can still be frustrating. I mean, these coaches, Claude and Dan, are in it for real. I mean, they're very serious, and they expect the players to be, and they want the refs to be, and I'm sure they are, and they see everything from a different angle like we do. But I thought it was an interference call, and it was easy. I thought it was an easy call.
Yeah, just to further your point, I mean, when you were there last year, and you mentioned the coaches this year, I mean, the time that you guys put in, and they put in this year, the traveling and the practices and the hours and hours and hours, and when you're behind that bench in the game, you do take it serious. I mean, you're living it from middle of August till the end of April. So
yeah, you put a lot into it, and you get an awful lot out of it, Jack. The friendships that you get from it, and the kids are great. You know, you gain some respect from them, and you certainly have respect for what they're doing out there and the commitment they're making. Some of their friends are at a high school dance or whatever, and they're on the road to Timmins. It's a big commitment. You know, without being negative towards kids, most of them won't go anywhere in hockey, but they're making the attempt, and you know, it's a great place to be as a teenager. And there's just as good other sports and everything, but the teamwork and the discipline needed to play AAA midget, it's there, and it's a great spot to be.
Yeah, and this is our game, isn't it?
It sure is, and I mean, Friday nights are great in New Liskeard.
They can talk about all the new ones coming along, like basketball and whatever, but the kids still love this the best, there's no doubt. Lucente, Filiatro walks in, lets it go off a stick, and up and out of play. North Bay with a two-man advantage here for another 29 seconds. So the Cubs in a critical point in this hockey game. If they can kill this off, Dan, and still stay within one.
Luke Drayel made a real good play, got his stick out in front of that shot, got it up over the net and out of play, and a stoppage of play is the advantage of the defensive team on a 5-on-3. A real good play by Luke. Those three kids have their work cut out, and hopefully they can kill the next 30 seconds.
Here come the Trappers now and over the line trying to set up. Sean Scott doing a heck of a job. They're taking his man off the puck, and the Cubs will get it out. And it went off the North Bay player on the bench, so we get a whistle.
Now here's a situation where if I'm on the bench, I'm going to be yelling at the ref again. The puck hit the North Bay guys leaning over the boards, and the face-off's inside. That's wrong. Face-off's got to be outside, hit the kids leaning over the boards.
Yeah, they shouldn't be leaning like that, should they?
That's an easy call also, and his linesman can help on that play. I don't think the puck went in the bench. I think it hit the kids leaning over.
Lucente loses the draw, gets it off the boards, not out. Anello throws it across to Filiatro, plays it in towards the net by everybody. This, Anello off a leg. This gets the rebound, centered in front, they score! And that's a power play goal with the two-man advantage.
That's a double whammy, Jack. You know, again, I'm going to return to that face-off inside. I think it should have been outside. Maybe I'm wrong where I'm standing, where it went, but I think it should have been outside. And then they don't get to bring out both men out of that penalty box. They still got to kill the next penalty a minute. So the next goal, just like we said before, when you're 2 goals down, the next goal is huge. Hopefully the Cubs can kill the next minute.
Yeah, a minute and 10 to go on the power play for North Bay still, as Lucente gives them a 3-1 lead with that two-man advantage. And on a positive side for North Bay, that was a heck of a passing play. But when you have a couple of guys open, somebody should be standing there and putting it in.
Certainly, if you make the plays on a 5-on-3, you should get a good scoring chance. They only had the one shot on it, and it went in the net. But it was I mean, no fault of Stroni. It was a good play by North Bay.
And they stay on the power play here for the next 59 seconds. But the Cubs will get it, and out to center it comes. And there's Dave Brown hustling up there, trying to get by his man. Just can't catch up with it. Throws it in front of the net, high in the air. Schuler back there for North Bay. Boucher, Brown hustling in there, breaking that up. Filiatro comes up with it. He's going to play it off Krieger right to Boucher. And over the line, there's a pass for Menard going in. Scores! Another power play goal. So they get 2 goals on that two-man advantage.
Yeah, Jack, hopefully the Cubs can dig down a bit here and hold off the next few minutes. It might not be a bad time for, if they don't get off to a good shift here, the coach is maybe thinking of to take a timeout, because the Cubs cannot afford now, definitely cannot give up that next goal. This kid in North Bay's net's not going to give up that many goals, and Cubs are going to have to come alive, force some penalties, drive the net. They got to get a little bit of luck going their way. And I see they're making a change here in net, Jack.
Yeah.
Jason Willard's coming in.
Stroni goes out, so at the 10:21 mark here, about halfway through the game, Jason Willard will replace Art Stroni. And I'm not going to stand here and say that Sarge Stroni's fault the Cubs are losing 4-1.
No, he's played solid. I think there was the one goal that was the first goal only, the one that was top shelf. If he saw it, well, it's got to be considered a bad goal, and the long slap shot, but it looked like a good shot in the first period. He's had a pretty solid game. Penalties have hurt. I mean, no doubt about it, the penalties have hurt.
Oh, yeah, that two-man advantage. Just when you score 2 goals on it, 1 on each penalty. Gibson for Alexander. He'll try and get it out, and Ella will keep it in. Cubs certainly on their heels now. North Bay with the zip. Here comes Burnham now. Andy Burnham to center. In over the line, and Rivard just a little too quick offside.
Yeah, that's a bad play. Really, maybe coming out, Andy could have gave it to Pierre right away, and Pierre maybe had to step on him. But when you're crossing the blue line, you got to make sure your partner is over the line. You can't go offside. You only get so many chances, and really the Cubs haven't had a lot of chances except for the Brown-Scott line early in the game, early in the period. You know, there's a chance with Burnham flying, and you got to make sure you stay onside, get open for him.
So 3 power play goals in this game, Dan, for North Bay, and as you said, here's Evers. Shoots, and Willard gets his first test and makes a nice glove save. You got to feel sorry for Jason. You got to be a little stiff and not into the game. Would you like to see them go back to the old, couple of minute warm up? Remember we used to stand around and fire it at the goalie when you replaced him? But I know it slows things down and everything, but
I don't see why not. I don't. If they make it a 30-second, put 5 pucks out there and shoot him a couple times, and the goal. I mean, these kids should be able to warm up. I mean, if he comes out and gets hurt right away, then I realize they're supposed to be warmed up and everything. And one thing about Liskeard, it's not a cold rink. It's not so tough to come in on. But the other thing on Jason's side here, they're down 4-1. If he can hold them close, and the Cubs get the next goal, then they'll be back in it.
That's for sure. Long way to go, yes. Half a hockey game left here. North Bay. Baldwin. McCrank around behind the net. Miller against Evers. Paquette will keep it in. Innes. Penalty coming up here to North Bay. As Krieger was nailed, and Jeff Krieger is hurt in behind the play. Checking from behind, so that will be the end of the night for that. Who is it? The number 6, Innes, that's going to go?
Yeah, I think it's number 6. He gave Jeff a little bit of a shove. It wasn't anything vicious by any means, Jack, and Jeff may have put on a little bit of an act to stay down. I don't think he was hurt there.
You don't think he would do that, do you?
Jeff might.
You would know that, wouldn't you?
Jeff's a great kid there. He's fun to be around, and he's a real antagonistic kid on the ice, and I'm sure the other teams don't like him very much. There's a kid, though, that the Cubs need. He's been in the penalty box a couple times. He's got to stay out of the box, and he's got to lead the rest of this way. The Cubs are going to get back into it. They need those kids like Scott and Brown and Jeff and the defense, and Major, Joyelle, the kids from last year, to come on and start leading a bit here tonight.
So Innes for North Bay gets 2 minutes for checking from behind and a game misconduct. So the Cubs down 4-1 here, try to get back in the hockey game on this power play as Dave Brown brings it in, drops it for Peterson. Peterson along the boards for Curtis McLean. McLean for Brown. Brown gets it back to Peterson again. Back for Brown along the boards. For McLean, give and go in front, score! Sean Scott!
Good play, Jack. A lot of poise. Actually, I was concerned where young McLean had the puck. He was behind the goal line, and I thought when Dave Brown actually slipped it down to him, he might have enough room to come out and take a shot himself. Made a perfect pass. Sean Scott hit it at one time. Great goal.
A power play goal for the Cubs, and I guess it probably will be Scott from McLean and Brown, I would think.
That's what the play was. Now, if they go unassisted again, I'd be yelling from the bench.
Well, there's been a few times up here in the last few years where you've seen a kid score and you know it's him, and they'll announce a different name, so you don't pay attention. You just go with what you saw.
If you're in Kapuskasing, Jack, and you're wearing blue, and you're anywhere in the building, you get an assist.
Yeah, that's
right. And you're Liskeard, you better make a real good play.
So the Cubs get the goal they needed. Sean Scott right on. Restool makes the save.
One thing about these Brown and Scott together, especially, they're maybe a little quicker than McLean, so you notice them a bit more. They have had a tremendous second period, and they've kept the Cubs in this hockey game.
It hasn't been a stellar night for this New Liskeard Cub team, but you know they're only down by 2.
Well, really, Jack, they got to get, like, the hockey is a game with the whole team, 15 guys, and they got to get everyone going. Here's a line out here right now, Rivard and Burnham and Alexander. They got to create offense. Hopefully we can say their name more often here.
Gibson had the puck bounce by him. Now Menard and over the line with Schuler. Drops it back for Schuler. There's a shot. Whoa, he just missed, and Boucher is knocked into Willard. Here comes Burnham back the other way. He's knocked off the puck. Talk about being stopped and dead in your tracks, Rivard along the boards. Bazinet just put her arm around him, and he came to a complete halt.
Yeah, Rob's a big boy, and when you're small like Pierre, you got to keep your legs pumping when you're along those boards, and hopefully you get free. And that's how you draw penalties also, if you keep your legs going. They got to grab you or hook you.
4-2 North Bay here with 7:41 to go in the second period. Sean Scott, the goal scorer for McLean and Brown. Lucente and Menard have scored on the power play here in the second period for North Bay. So the power play being a big factor in this hockey game. There's a high floating shot. It was going well wide, but Restool is going to glove it down.
The way coaching has gone now in hockey, you see a lot of 3-2 hockey games in the pro level, and the special teams are very important now. They do a lot of coaching of it. The kids understand it, and you see, like, I think North Bay has improved their power play tremendously tonight compared to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they have. Here comes Creech in over the line. Way wide of the net with that shot. Puck off the back of the net. Lucente tried to center it. Here's Gibson. Hits Rivard with a nice pass. Rivard gets by his man. Rivard for Andy Burnham. Now a penalty coming up here to North Bay. Interference call.
See, there's a pretty good shift by Pierre. Earlier on, started that shift, he back-checked very hard, and then on that situation, he came to center zone with good speed, and actually the guy ended up having to take him down near the net. He didn't have the puck at that point, but that's what happens when you're moving. You'll draw penalties. Pierre moved well on that shift.
So here's a great opportunity here for the Cubs to get to within 1 with 7:08 to go in the second. And as I said, they haven't played very good here tonight, but they're only down by 2, and a bounce here, a bounce there. We could have a tie hockey game.
Jack, we got 5 guys from last year's team on the ice together. They should understand what the coaches want them to do on this. And, you know, here's a good chance to get right back into it.
Now, as a hockey player, these kids, as far as they went last year, you talk about these 5 guys on the ice right now, everything they went through last year, I guess right now there's nothing, they're not nervous about this situation, are they? They know exactly what they have to do.
No, not at all. Jack, these kids expect to win. They hate losing, and that's the difference between you know, winners and losers as such. I mean, there's always got to be a loser in a hockey game most nights, but these kids hate to lose, and that's why they've been very successful.
Well, let's see what they can do in this power play here. Krieger just a little too soft on that pass, and it's intercepted by Creech and shot down the ice.
Yeah, Sean Scott went to the net a little bit there, and really Jeff Sure just hung on to the puck, came back out towards Major, and see what opens up. Jeff's got such good poise with the puck, that's an easy play for him.
Here comes Krieger. Behind the net, hanging onto that puck, looking in front, throws it back to Scott. Sean Scott turning away from his man for Krieger. For Scott, tries to wrap around in front, and Restool's got it under the glove.
That's a set play, Jack, when they move it on an overload down low and try to stuff it. Really, in that situation, you hope that, Sean, when you catch the puck, that your feet are on this side of the goal line, so you have a little better angle, so if the goalie goes down, you can get it up underneath the crossbar. Actually, a better situation, which they know themselves, is that when Krieger's down by the goal line and Scott's on the half boards, Krieger has a better ability to hang on to that puck and go up high real quick.
Rivard on the ice now with McLean and Burnham. 1:05 left in this power play. There's Filiatro hammering around the glass, and it gets out. Joyal behind his own net. With Menard up there forechecking. Throws it back the other way to Greg Major. Up for McLean. Drops it back for Rivard. Picked off and shot down the ice by Schuler. Graham Schuler impressed me a couple weeks ago when they were in here, number 9, the captain of this team.
That's a young lad that Larry Keenan raved about last year, and I know when the central scouting list comes out, we all get to see a little bit, and you question who's on it and who's not. There's a kid that wasn't on it, and Larry was I guess upset about it that he wasn't on it. He thought he was just a super player last year as a first-year midget last year.
I don't really remember him a lot last year in the games I saw him, but the 2 games I've seen him so far, he's a pretty decent-looking hockey player. Here's Burnham, comes on the power play here, trying to get within 1. And he dishes it off to Rivard. Tried to center it. It comes out in front, but there's nobody there. And Resto will grab it and hang on with 1 second left in the power play.
We're getting really tight to the net now, and now this is time to move it quickly to the half boards and out to the point. Now this power play's over, but hopefully someone will recognize that, and maybe they can use a Major shot quickly.
And a few Cup players here tonight that so far this year, you know, doing these games, I can remember saying their name a lot, and tonight I'm not saying their names very much. And these guys have to get going, and Krieger's one of them. As you said, you know, you're second in the scoring and an offensive leader on this team.
Jeff's got to skate. He's got to go, and tonight I don't think he skated as well as I've seen him also. I mean, last year, there was many a game last year he was our best player, and he's got to be the best player on most nights, and that doesn't mean the kid who always puts the puck in the net or anything, but Jeff has to be a factor. Tonight, he's taken a couple of penalties, he's made a couple of good plays, but there's more in him than what he's shown.
Well, the Cubs come up empty on that man advantage, and it's still 4-2 North Bay. Here's Lucente for Baldwin. Too far. Miller gets to the puck first. Fires it around the boards. Ringler was there. He's knocked down, and here comes Miller. He's got McCrank and Krieger with him. In over the line. Ooh, Paquette takes him to the boards, but he keeps the legs pumping. Miller gets it back. Gibson teeing it up. Blocked in front. Miller gets it again, takes a whack at it. Puck's loose, they bang away. And it's cleared away now. Penalty coming up here to North Bay. Tripping call. Paquette's going to go.
Really, Jack, since the Cubs made the goaltender change, they've come on. I think Willard's maybe had 1 save since he came in, a glove save first shift, and I don't remember another shot on him. The Cubs have really come on in the last few minutes and started to dominate this game, and hopefully they can find the net.
You wonder if that's the reason, or just North Bay got up by 3 goals and figured, well, we can take it easy now. We can slack off a bit here, and the Cubs just aren't going to give up.
I'll tell you, all of us sit here and wonder many nights about the different situations. You wonder what makes the kids tick, or why they have a good period than a bad period. But I guess if they always had good periods, the score would be like last week, 10-0 all the time.
And I guess if you knew what makes them tick and doesn't make them tick all the time, you'd be the greatest coach that ever existed.
Yeah,
everybody'd want you.
We wouldn't be talking to each other, Jack. Maybe by a satellite or something.
Here's Brown going to the net. And tried to jam it in. It was blocked. Comes on the power play here again. McLean, just out of his reach. Joyal, he'll keep it in. And Creech is going to get it off the boards. And here's Lucente. Franks one. That got through Willard, but out the other side. 1:20 left on this Cub power play. 3:35 to go in the second. North Bay with the 4-2 lead. Cubs would love to get one here, wouldn't they? Late in the period again. Here comes Brown. Gets it up to Scott. Has to drop it back to Joyal. He's going to skate it up. And over the line, drops it for McLean. Here comes the shot. Right on rebound. They bang away at it in the crease. And I guess that puck is not in the net, Dan. It's underneath the goaltender.
I think initially McLean got a shot away, Joel got a whack at it, and then Sean Scott got 3 shots on net in that play, but the puck didn't end up. And there's where the goaltender makes a difference. He stayed right there, and he plays the, especially low shots, very well. Covers a lot of the low net, and it's hard to score from in tight. But a real good play. They came across the blue line, made a good play. Joel made a nice play, and ended up with a couple good scoring chances.
Should mention, we didn't mention the shots on goal in the first period. What, 13-9 in favor of North Bay?
Yeah, it was 13-9, Jack, and may have missed a few there, but North Bay actually had a few better chances that just missed the net.
And so far here in the second, the Cubs are out shooting North Bay 11-8? 9?
11-8.
Okay, that's just a lot.
Well, that's sort of where Jason came in now.
Okay. Whoa, look out. That puck went into the Cub bench. Almost hit Claude Deneby's toupee there.
Is that what that is?
Well, now, having coached with them all last year, you must know what it is.
Are you not sure?
You're withholding secrets here.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Jack.
I know when Rick Barron does the games with me, he always comments on the lack of hair on Dana Dodge's head and the amount on Claude's head. So I figure, there's a score by Greg Major, the big shot. Power play goal by Greg Major. Did he let that go? And I think Jason Restoll is hurt.
I don't think he got a piece of it, Jack. I don't know if he's hurt from stretching out, trying to catch up to that puck. But anyways, we've seen Greg Major do that. I've probably seen it more than anybody. How many times he's done that since he was 10 years old. He's got a great shot, unbelievable power.
Maybe the puck hit the inside of Restoll's leg and went in, and he felt that.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's 100% yet, but to his credit, he doesn't want the trainer out there. He's ready to go.
So here we go, a power play goal by the Cubs. That's 2 in this period, and they're right back in this hockey game, and it's 4-3 North Bay.
Robbie Peterson fed the puck over nice right on Greg's stick, and Greg let her go. Great goal.
And as you mentioned, as soon as they made the goaltending change, the Cubs seemed to come on, and it's been all Cubs ever since. Here comes Menard. For Boucher. Oh, that's just out of his reach. Schuler trying to catch up to it. Schuler loses it, and here comes Rivard. Speeding to center, and over the line he goes. Has the puck taken away. Menard back there. And get it out, though. Burnham. To Rivard, and he's flat. They score! That looked like Alexander was trailing the play, and he put it up high.
Yeah, it was, Jack. Andy Burnham made a super pass down to the crease to Pierre Rivard, and Pierre just took a shot on net, got knocked over. The puck laid for Steven, and Steven put it home. Real good goals. Go to the net, good things happen.
The North Bay players were arguing with the referee. I know Rivard was knocked into the goaltender, but he was knocked by the North Bay player. He was flattened in there.
Yeah, it was. That's a tough one, Jack. He got knocked in. You're allowed to follow the puck into the crease. Definitely he followed the puck. I think the puck came back out of the crease, and then it was put in. So I'm not sure exactly how you would rule that, but he definitely didn't go in on his own free will. He got knocked in, and actually easily could have been a cross-checking penalty or even maybe a very cheap hitting from behind, but he got hit directly from behind on that.
Well, we've got a hockey game now, folks. 4-4, and as Danny and I said, the Cubs have not played a good hockey game here tonight, but they're tied.
They've actually played a pretty solid second period now, Jack, and the score is showing it. They got out of the first period not playing well, and we talked about only being down by a goal, and they're still in the hockey game. They were lucky, but now they're deserving what they're getting. They're working very hard right now.
And they're trying to take the lead on that wraparound. And they're a fire here. Everybody just flying down the ice now.
Now, we talked about the speed of North Bay in the first period. Well, now we're seeing maybe that the Cubs maybe are just as quick or quicker. Probably a little quicker this period for sure. And the Cubs must have came out flat, or either that or it's just the opposite. I mean, we can't figure it out, but I mean, all we did was rave about North Bay in the first period, but this period's been all Cubs.
And you know, it's funny, they made the goaltending change at the 10:21 mark, so about halfway through the game. So the first half of the game, I thought North Bay was deserving of being where they were, and since then it's been all Cubs.
Yeah, and the Cubs are out shooting North Bay this period, and you know, take away those 2 penalties, the 2-man advantage. this game wouldn't even, the Cubs would be up by a couple. Of course, that changes the whole flow of the hockey game.
And coming into when you come to see these two teams play, you expect the game to be like this. I mean, they're fairly even, and you expect it to be a battle, and that's exactly what it's turned into. We have a penalty here to the Cubs. A roughing call to Jeremy Miller.
That hurts. I didn't see the play, Jack, but I mean, the momentum is just flying in the Cub direction, and that really hurts. Hopefully the Cubs can have a real good penalty kill here, frustrate North Bay for 2 minutes, and then come back at it.
1:50 to go here in the second. 4-4 the score. It was 4-1 North Bay at one point.
Jack, I haven't heard Boucher's name very often. This period.
That's right. You said he dominated the first period, but he's been quiet ever since. He's out there right now on this power play. And Brown staying right with him, doing a good job. Here's Anello now. Oh, the lead pass for Boucher. That almost clicked, and he would have been gone. Now Schuler behind the net, trying to come out in front, takes a whack at it. Willard holds the short side. Brown's going to get over there, and he's going to get it out. Menard for North Bay and over the line. Trappers on the power play here for the next minute 28 delay. Now they're seeing an intentional offside. It's going to come all the way down into the North Bay zone.
There's Sean Scott using a lot of thinking out there. He held the puck. He knew it was offside. Might as well kill a bit of time. Went sideways with it. So that way the linesman can't just blow the whistle down for him going in the wrong direction. And North Bay ended up chasing him, and so it became intentional offside. A real thinking play by Sean Scott. He's had a real solid game from the drop of the puck, I think, Jack. Him and Dave Brown probably have been the two best Cubs tonight so far.
Yeah, they worked so hard out there. Here's Anello for North Bay. Long pass up for Creech, too far. 1:05 to go in the period. 1:13 in the power play here for North Bay. Visson over the line. Can't get it to Creech along the boards. Now Creech will try and come out in front with it. Viss will circle the net. Can't get away from Gibson, and the Cubs will get it, and down the ice it goes. Restuel out to play it. Anello. He'll take it back, and out he comes. Bard turns, not out, knocked down there by Filiatro, plays it in, and a nice play by Seaman to slide across and bring it up, and out it comes, and now
real good play by Jonathan Seaman there. Jack saved a scoring chance.
And the North Bay Trappers take a penalty here, a cross-checking call going to Creech. So North Bay's been very undisciplined in this period, Dan, taking 5 minors now in that game misconduct, and it's cost them.
The young fella Creech who is going in the penalty box now. He played last year, and he took a lot of penalties last year, I believe, also. I mean, every kid is different, and sometimes their adrenaline gets flowing, and they do something a little silly, but some penalties are deserved, some aren't. But he's an aggressive kid. He's a good hockey player.
22 seconds to go in the period. Teams are even now. Cubs will get a power play to start the second. Brevard in the corner. Penalty coming up here to North Bay, I believe. Boucher's going to get the gate.
Actually, Jack, Boucher got knocked over in center ice, and the North Bay bench were doing a little hollering at the referee of their own there. And actually, Boucher is doing a little hollering now at the referee. He ended up retaliating. He's lucky he didn't get 2 minors. He took 2 different shots at 2 different players on his back check.
So the Cubs will have a power play here with 6 seconds to go. And Dan, if they do this right...
Well, one thing about it, Jack, they got the weapon in Greg Majeur's shot. So if they can win this face-off and get the puck to Greg, there's a chance. Everyone else should go to the net, and but I'm sure North Bay won't have a centerman out there that is a weak centerman, so it'll be a tough draw. Now Pierre's good. Pierre actually won, I think, the last goal that the Cubs scored on a face-off. When Majeur scored last time, I think Pierre won the initial face-off.
He played it towards the net, and it's cleared around the... Here's Majeur. He's going to get that chance, and right at the buzzer.
Jack, the Cubs completely dominated that period. I got them at 16 to 9 on the shots, and I thought they had a tremendous period.
It was a heck of a period. Lucente and Menard scored scored power play goals to give North Bay a 4-1 lead, and then Scott on the power play, Major on the power play, and Stephen Alexander tied it. Penalties in that period, 6 to North Bay, plus a game misconduct, 3 to the Cubs, and the power play a big factor in that period, Dad, but a big turnaround for the Cubs. As soon as they put Jason Willard in, it seemed to inspire the team, and they started playing much better.
Let's hope we have a good third period, Jack. Looks like we will.
Okay, Dan and I will be back with that third period right after this.
This is Megan of the War Amps Child Amputee Program. She lost her arm in a car accident. How would you feel if you had been the driver who hit her?
Let's all drive safe.
A message from the War Amps Drive Safe program.
Welcome back to period number 3. Jack Bourne with Dan Purgette, Denise Crayford, and Andrew Ager. We've got a heck of a game now, 4-4 tie, and in exactly 1 second, the Cubs will have a 2-man advantage to start the third here. So, Dan, an excellent opportunity to grab the lead. If they can do that for the first time in this game, who knows what will happen.
This is key right now, Jack. They can really get the momentum going in their favor.
Andy Murdom gets it back to the point. Here's Major. Look out! And he had it blocked in front.
Greg shot that one a little bit with his head down. That's the time to take a look off to the side of the net. Maybe he'll have an open net for forward.
He can shoot it, though, can't he? Here he
can shoot it. It's hard to stop a kid like that from shooting it that hard, but you can lift your head a bit and hit it on the ice.
He gets it back to Sean Scott. Sean had a little trouble with his balance there, but Cubs in control. 2-man advantage. Joyelle! And he fanned on the shot. Scott picks it up in the corner. 32 seconds left in this 2-man advantage. Burnham. Checked by Anello. Not out, though. Joyelle does a good job to keep it in. Here's Major again. Tries to work his way in. Burnham! Oh, and he fired it wide. Good hustle by Major to get back there and keep it in. Burnham at the blue line. Joyelle. Set it in front. Oh, Sean Scott just shot it wide. Looked like he had the corner, Dan.
Real heads-up play by Luke Joyelle. Found Sean Scott open, and he had a lot of the net. Just missed the net.
Look out this way, though. Oh, that's offside. But North Bay decides to change, and here comes Joyelle. Cubs had some good control, good puck movement there, but the penalties to North Bay are over, so they weather that storm. Brought in offside at the North Bay line by Seaman.
The Cubs just squandered a real good opportunity. They didn't. They had 2 shots towards the net. Neither one hit the net, and hopefully they can get over that now and start at it. I'm sure we'll see a real good period.
John Scott came close. He had the best chance, I thought. He just fired it wide.
Well, Luke Joyelle made a super play coming off the far side, saw Sean open, put it right on his stick, and Sean did the right thing, shot it right away, just didn't hit the net.
But the Cubs certainly have come alive here since about the midway point of that second period, and it's been their game. North Bay controlled the first period, no doubt about that. And here they come again. There's a centering pass to Lucente, and Dave Brown. There's a slash. Another penalty coming up to North Bay here.
Just picked up an unsportsmanlike. He was explaining to the referee what he was doing, and he picked up an unsportsmanlike. I'm sure that won't go over very well with the North Bay coach. You start off a 4-4 hockey game in the third period, shorthanded, and you continue for the next 4 minutes. Again, the Cubs have a great chance here. They got to keep working hard if it doesn't happen for them, and if they got to work harder, the momentum will swing it the other way. You got to keep the legs going.
A 4-minute power play here. Lucente was getting the slash, and then he gets another 2 minutes for talking just a little too much. And now referee North Bay trying to sneak some players onto the ice there. Freddie caught that.
This is Mr. Keenan's experience here. He just got the referee right over to his bench, so I'm sure there's some real quiet words being said right now where he doesn't get a bench minor, but he knows what he's doing. He gets the ref over there like everyone else knew what the ref wanted, get the other players back on. Mr. Keenan acts like he doesn't know what he wants.
Puck high in the air at center. Seaman knocks it down. Cubs with a 4-minute power play here. 4-4 the score, 17:24 to go in the third. North Bay had a 4-1 lead in this game, but the Cubs have come back. Sean Scott along the boards. Brevard comes up front, Dave Brown! And the puck comes right out to Reach, and he shoots it down the ice.
Real good play down low between Scott and Pierre Rivard. Pierre had his feet going towards the net when he caught that pass, made a good chance, and Dave Brown had a half a net to shoot at.
There's the puck off Seaman's skate. He keeps it in momentarily, but it's shot out by Boucher. 3:09 left in this puck. Oh, there's an intercepted pass by Boucher. I don't know if he'll get a chance to get to the net, though. Gibson and Scott both got back. And now Boucher's knocked down by Scott, and that's going to draw a penalty. Interference.
Actually, that play there Boucher showed his smarts. He made the contact and went down, drew the penalty. Actually, there's a questionable call now. Fred maybe was in a spot where he couldn't tell what happened there. From here, you can see that Boucher was the one who went into Sean Scott. Sean's bigger and stronger and put Boucher down.
And Boucher, good anticipation there as he intercepted that pass, and that started the whole problem right there.
Yeah, John Seaman made a little bit, took a little too long to make that play. You can read it, and Boucher's the type of kid who sits back like a safety in football and reads the other players, and if you remember, Sean Denemy last year did that a number of times.
That's right.
Penalties. Reads the play, defense puts their head down to make a pass, and he's there to intercept it. And that's what Boucher did there.
2:58 left in this power play.
4-on-4 right now, Jack, and should open up the ice.
Oh, that's right. Thanks for bringing that up, Jack. That's why you're up here. That's why we hired you.
I didn't think it was for the money.
You know Denise well, don't you? You've been speaking with Andrew. There's Boucher, and again, elbowing. Greg Major is getting a penalty. So first one team down, then the other seems to get into penalty trouble in this hockey game. And now Greg just got himself a 10-minute misconduct.
You know, I don't want to be, I hate to be negative, and I know it's a tough job, but Fred stayed right by the penalty box. You got an upset 17-year-old kid. We've all played the game of hockey. Get away, make your call, get away from there. And, I mean, that doesn't give the excuse to the players to say things to the ref they shouldn't, but it is a frustrating sport at times, and Freddie's played the game. The no tolerance rule they're trying is pretty difficult. You want the kids to be emotional also, or be a pretty boring game.
Yeah, it sure would. So
now the Cubs are going to have to put a man in the box. I think he picked up 4 minutes there,
yeah,
Jack.
that's right. I heard him say that, a 10 and a 4. So
they're going to miss Greg. See, Greg's gone 14 minutes. He'll be back with 2 minutes left in the game. And, you know, he's a pretty key member.
just in time to blast one in from the point, win the hockey game.
Let's hope they don't need it then, but hopefully the third period doesn't continue how it started.
Yeah,
North Bay's been killing penalties throughout. Now New Liskeard will be. You know, hope that, you know, if it is the kids doing the damage here, I hope it straightens out. And the last 10 minutes will be a little better than what we've seen in the first 4 here.
Yeah, we've seen enough power play goals in this game already, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
2 by the Cubs and 3 by North Bay. I remember last year doing these games, and it seemed like every Friday night I'd go back to do the report, and I'd say the Cubs power play did it again for them. 4 goals or 5 goals, and it seemed to click very well for you.
I'm sure half the games now are power plays and penalty killing, and that's why you see all the teams look like they know what they're doing on power play. They get lots of practice, not just in practice, but on the games now, and so you can do a lot of teaching. You get a lot of chances to be talking on the bench when you're watching the other group on the ice. On the power play, you learn from the other teams and you learn from yourself. 4 on 3 now, Jack.
Lots of ice out there. Some good skaters. Krieger, Boucher. Here comes Boucher picking up speed and over the line. Throws one towards the net, goes wide. Giliatro pinching in. Drops it back. Here's Anello, fans on the shot, and the Cubs are going to get it out. Oh, and if Krieger hadn't have slipped, he had his back to the play. With his speed, he might have been able to catch up to that, Dan, and get away, but...
Yeah, Jeff, it was close there, but I think North Bay was right there. They probably would have had him, but there's an opportunity. You don't get very many on a 4-on-3.
Here's North Bay now moving in. Boucher dishes it off. Oh, what a save by Willard. Filiatro at the point. To Anello, and that gets out. He couldn't keep it in. Oh, break there for the Cubs. There's Boucher and over the line. Check, keeps it in. And a nice play there by Dave Brown to tip that out. Brown hustling out there, getting right on the North Bay players. He's all over the place. Almost steals it away. Now here's Boucher. Dropping it back to the line, kept in. Here's Anello. Anello's going to walk in. A save. And he's knocked flat. And the Cubs will come up with the puck. Here comes Seaman. And he'll just try and kill time here. Dragging that puck. North Bay will change. Schuler on the ice. And down the ice it goes.
Real good stint there by Seaman and Joyelle back there. Joyelle was a rock against Boucher a couple times coming across. Real good shift.
There's a heavy hit in there by Schuler on Gibson. A couple of big boys. Cubs will get it out though. Bain over to Dave Brown. Trying to tip it by Hodge. Hodge beats him to the puck. Around behind the net he goes. Brown staying right with him. John Scott there to back up the play. Dumps it in. Paquette for the Trappers. Long pass up to Creech. Intercepted by Scott. Here comes Sean Scott in over the line. Trying to make a move. Goes to the corner. Burnham gets it to Gibson. That shot's blocked. Creech will get it. Knocked down. Burnham runs into Paquette. Paquette goes down, and here comes Hodge for the Trappers in over the line. Burnham runs him into the boards heavily. And now we get the whistle. Interference.
I have no idea what the call is here, Jack.
Called it an interference. I think it's on Burnham when he took his man out. I don't know.
That was Burnham hustled with the guy. Again, he's bigger and stronger, put him down. Looks like a North Bay player going in. I never saw it.
Well, in the second period, Dan, it was North Bay who seemed to be taking penalty after penalty, and you have to wonder why they were taking them. And now in the third, it looks as though the Cubs are running into that problem.
But here's the situation, Jack. Cubs had a 2-man advantage, and they had a power play. Or North Bay took a 4-minute penalty. The Cubs took 4 minutes, now North Bay 2. I'm sure that we're going to even her pretty soon.
Yeah, by the end of the night. You know, most games that I do, when I tally up the penalties at the end of the night, it's pretty close.
Yeah, there's Mike McArthur lent that counter out that he had 20 years ago. He had the counter, except when he was in Haileybury Arena. I think he's lent it out.
I think so. Oh boy, there's a quick shot, and Jason Willard. Jason's come up with a couple of big saves there.
Actually, Jack, yeah, we missed commenting. He made a heck of a save when they on the power play about 2 minutes ago. And came out, blocked the angle. Jason is what you call an aggressive stand-up type goalie. And when he's moving well, sometimes you wonder it's going to go through him, but he gets a piece of it, and he's far enough out of his net. When he does get a piece of it, it's going to miss the net. Jason has come in on a tough situation, played about a period now, I guess, and hasn't let any in. Not very many shots on him, but the ones he's had, he's handled.
That's right. That's the key. Here's McLean now for the Cubs, coming out to center. Trying to make a move on Paquette. It's cut off. Seaman's going to keep it in at the line. He hit the referee with the puck. And the Trappers will get it to the line, but not out. Here's McLean. Oh, and Brevard was in behind the defensive. That got through. Here's Baldwin. Getting it up to Ringler. He throws it in behind the net. Hit by Seaman. That pass off McLean. Working against Dunford. Paquette dumps it to the corner. Baldwin picks it up. He's got Ringler with him. He'll dump it in. Paquette will go after it against Seaman. He's pinned to the boards. Baldwin picks up the loose puck out of that scrum. He's going to let it go. Oh, and Willard makes a nice pad save. Schuler in there, giving Seaman all kinds of problems. Brevard will slide it out to center. Down the ice it goes. 12:17 to go in the third. 4-4 the score. Here come the Trappers. Boucher stripped of the puck by Krieger. And Krieger runs into Filiatro and goes down. He looks at the ref, looking for a call. Trappers get it down the ice. They wave off the icing. Penalties are now over, except for Greg. He'll sit there for a while yet.
He's got 10 minutes left, Jack. We won't see him till right at the end of the game.
Here comes Menard for the Trappers. In over the line. Dropping it back to Schuler. Menard. Schuler trying to come out, and we get a whistle here. I don't know what the call is. Delayed offside, or?
There's 9 seconds still on the clock for a guest penalty, and then I think that's what the crowd started to yell about.
Oh, okay.
That how come there's no one in the penalty box? So whether someone left early or someone can't see that far up to the clock,
And maybe one of the kids yelled go or something.
yeah,
you never know.
Jack, we've had started to play a little 5-on-5, and hopefully we'll stay that way for the rest of the game. Maybe one power play each to end it or whatever.
You'd like to see them decide it without the use of a power play.
Yeah, for sure. The kids have worked hard. Both teams have worked hard. They each had a good period. This one's flip a coin at this point. Both goalies have made a couple good saves. And, I just hope to see the next 10 minutes as good as really the second period was a good period.
So the discussion going on over there now. So what happens here? Do they put the guy back in, or they just took the time off? Maybe they forgot to take the time off the clock.
Yeah, it's very possible. If those clocks now are computerized, we're not back in the old days where you could play with them. If the guy left early, he'll get 2 minutes. He'll have to go back in. Unless the timekeeper perhaps.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. He's getting a.
He'll get a 2-minute penalty, and actually he should have 2 minutes and 9 seconds, Jack, because there was 9 left on the clock when he jumped out.
Now, if the Cubs were to score on this play, boy, oh boy, as a coach, wouldn't you be upset?
Well, they're going to be looking for an explanation. Keenan's going to want an explanation of what happened. Whether he'll get the right one that he wants to hear, I don't know. But
if it's just stupidity on his player's part, that'd be very frustrating.
He may, it could be anything as stupid as going off the home clock and seeing it click down and jump over.
Right.
I really don't know.
Now, I've seen this work the other way, too, where I remember last year you yelling at somebody over there saying, get out of the penalty box, your penalty's been over for...
Yeah.
The kid sits there for so long, he forgets he can come back on the ice.
Yeah, I didn't yell very often last year, but...
I remember you yelling that one particular game.
But, you have to sometimes wake them up over there.
So the Cubs will go to the power play here with 11:41 to go in the third. The North Bay player leaving the penalty box too early, so he gets penalized for doing so and gets another 2 minutes.
The Cubs without Major now for the next 10 minutes. There'll be a little more pressure on someone like Luke Joyal, who I'm sure Dana will try to have on the ice when Boucher's out there. Luke plays one-on-one as good as anybody, in this league for sure, and works very hard at it in practice. And you can see on a one-on-one, he does get beat like everyone else does once in a while, but you can see he does a lot of things right. And there's the player that probably Dana will want out when Boucher's out there. Boucher's walked around a couple of the other kids tonight, and actually on the last power play, Joyal really played him tough a couple times coming down. And Robin's the type of player still going to find an open man to pass to, but you just don't want him doodling through your legs and getting a good shot on
I guess if you're a young defenseman and you see this guy coming down the ice at full speed, it kind of if you just take your eye off him for a second, he's by you.
Well, if you stop moving your feet or have your stick in the wrong spot, a kid like that can really burn you. And this is a chance where the coach gets to remind the players of what they try to teach on one-on-ones. Sometimes you go through these practices, the kids probably wonder, what am I doing this for? But then you get against a player that can really handle a puck. Like we had a number of them last year. Cap had some players that could really handle it. And this is the chances where those practices pay off. And the kids that don't realize that or never understand why the coaches are saying put your stick here, try to get it through the guy's legs so he can't maneuver. They're the ones who don't go to the next level or don't have that opportunity. Even if they do have the skills in other factors, as a defenseman you can look pretty bad. Like I was saying earlier, goalie looks bad when a goal goes in, and the defenseman looks real bad when someone steps around him.
Dan, you were exactly right on that call. The 9 seconds gets put up there as well. So somebody will serve the 9 and then come on the ice. So the Cubs have a 2-minute and 9-second power play here.
They'll have enough time to get the puck quickly down the ice and set up. It'll end up being a 5-on-4 very quickly. But if they can win this face-off and move the puck between Joyal and Seaman up the ice quickly, they'll get the set up before the other player will be out. They probably won't get a shot on net that quick, but at least they'll have the puck with lots of control.
Face off outside the Cub blue line. Schuler in on the draw against Sean Scott, the captains of their respective hockey clubs. North Bay dumping it into the Cub zone. Now here's Seaman. Cubs will come up the ice quickly here. Oh, and Brown and Scott get a little crossed up. And now here's a steal. Schuler trying to get by Seaman, and Seaman does a good job of coming across and knocking the puck off the stick. Reach in there for North Bay. Pin to the boards by Seaman. Now a penalty coming up to the Cubs here. Or is it to North Bay?
Should be North Bay high sticking. Seaman made a really, really good play in the corner. Used his strength. Good to see a guy finish his check like he just did. And number 8, who I believe has taken a couple penalties tonight, couldn't, that shows a little bit of lack of toughness when you do that. You take a quick retaliation penalty.
And Larry Keenan won't like that lack of discipline, especially at this time, a crucial time of a hockey game. And now they're going to be shorthanded 2 men for a minute 37. So, boy, oh boy, here's the opportunity the Cubs are looking for. Take the lead.
There's that measurement of toughness is very important, and toughness is also being able to take a hit. Seaman did a really good job, finished the play. That young fellow, number 8, Creech, has to handle that and just start back checking, and he couldn't do it. That's a lack of toughness.
Seaman over to Joyelle. Cubs with a 2-man advantage now for a minute 30 seconds. Burnham gets it over to Seaman. Here comes the shot off a stick right of the net. Burnham picking up the puck off the glass. Back for Seaman again. Here comes he makes it. Oh, and moving up there, taking it away was Jeff Hodge, and he got it down the ice. Good anticipation by Hodge of North Bay there. Here comes Burnham now, taking the pass in over the line. Bumping it back to Seaman. Seaman along the boards for Scott. 2-man advantage here for the Cubs. 4-4 tie with 10:36 to go. Big opportunity here. Royale, they score! That went off the North Bay player, looked like that, and slid between the legs.
There's the break you're looking for, Jack. They moved the puck fairly well on the outside, but really didn't have anyone in a good shooting position. And Joyelle got himself the puck a little ahead of himself and didn't hit it real clean, but it hit a North Bay skate and went in the net. Once again, Restoul's over there looking like maybe he's a bit shaken up. Now, whether he's the type of kid that won't come out with an injury or whether or not he doesn't like 5 goals going in behind him. I'm sure this year that hasn't happened very often.
Well, that was a bad goal, but really, you can't fault him. He wasn't expecting that. It went off a skate, changed directions, and just slid through.
Oh, for sure, Jack. That's a type of goal where the goalie is hoping to be in the right position. Normally, a kid like Restoul is down on that play, and he probably usually makes a save there.
Well, Dan, we said we were getting tired of the power plays, and we didn't want a power play to decide it, but if this stays this way, then we'll look back and say that's what decided it, a 2-man advantage.
For sure. Now, I would think the Cubs will have to be real careful, because if they put their stick on someone or maybe a little high elbow, they'll get called real quick here to even it up. I'm sure that, like every other game that we watch, the team on the power play now is going to be really careful.
Here comes Rivard, and he pegged that off the side of the net, and now the net comes off. So Joyelle gets the goal at the 10:30 mark of the period on a 2-man advantage.
I believe Seaman got an assist, and I think Sean Scott should have had one also. He's on the boards, moved it out to the point, and Seaman controlled it, crossed to Joyelle.
There's a giveaway, Lucente. Cubs still in the power play, by the way, for 55 seconds. Lucente moves up and over the line. It looked like it was offside. There's a shot right on. Gibson picking up the loose puck behind the net. Heads it up to Krieger. Jeff Krieger in over the line with Rivard. Jeremy Miller going to the net. Here's Rivard. Comes on the power play here. Trying to get it out front. Loose puck. They jam away. And Restoul's down and got it.
Real good poise by Krieger and Rivard together close to the net. Looked like they didn't have any room and ended up being a good scoring chance. Miller was out in front using his strength, banging away, and really good setup by Jeff going down low and making the play back to Rivard in the corner.
9:45 to go in the third. 5-4 Cubs, and they're still on the power play for 27 seconds. Joyelle has scored here on the power play. Major had a power play goal. Scott had a power play goal in this game. North Bay, 3 of their 4 goals have been on the power play. Both have scored with a 2-man advantage, so It's been fairly even that way.
If they could get one quick here, Jack, really take the wind out of North Bay sails.
That's for sure. Schuler can't get it out. Cubs still with the man advantage for 8 seconds here. Filiatro is going to pick up the loose puck and get it to the line, and out it comes. So that'll do it. Cubs get 1 goal on that power play, and they have the lead. Down the ice it goes. Not going to have enough momentum to go for icing. Filiatro will pick it up. Gets it up to Schuler. That pass for Boucher was behind him. All the way down the ice it goes. Willard has to play it. Schuler. Dunford for North Bay, dumping it in. Bain rifles it around the boards. It'll bounce out to center. Dunford will fire it back. But moving up there was McLean. He blocked it. Menard running into Bain.
It's a good shift, Jack. They got the Bain down low, got the puck out, fired it hard enough to get it out. That's what they got to do for the next 8 minutes.
Alexander coming off the bench, knocking Menard off the puck. Brevard and Boucher go down on the far side. Cubs really hustling now, Dan. You can really see that they got some zip in their game. And now another penalty here.
Be interested to see what this. There may be a cross-check there, Jack. Yeah, it is a cross-check. Like Pierre was a little aggressive there. Made a decent hit on Boucher when Boucher was in a position where you get a good shot at him. They're right there chasing a defenseman. That's not the time to throw a cross-check into someone's back. When you're 180 feet from your net, up by a goal, is not the time to be taking a penalty. And I'm sure he'll be reminded of it later on tonight.
So North Bay will go to the power play with 8:12 to go in the third, trailing by a goal. They had led 4-1 at one point in this hockey game, but the Cubs have turned it around.
The Cubs really have, and you can go through the names on the list on the Cubs out there that have, you know, the first period we didn't notice them, and now they're skating, and that's the difference.
Seaman picking up that loose puck, firing it down the ice. Resto will play it up. Lucente hustling back there. North Bay with the man advantage. Burnham skating faster than I've seen him skate all night, getting up there forechecking. Cubs doing a great job here, Danny, of breaking up the play. Here come the Trappers now. Paquette in over the line. Drops it back for Boucher. He's going to the net. Backhand shot right on. And Willard stopped that. Comes back to the point. Anello through a screen. Hits some skates in front. Puck's loose. Willard's down. They jam away at it, but he's got it. Boucher was taken down heavily behind the net. He's getting up slow.
Jack, North Bay hasn't had very many chances in the third period. They just had 3 quick shots on net, and Willard was right there in position, stick down, made the save on each one.
I think Burnham's getting a penalty here for roughing up Rob Boucher.
I'm not sure what he did, Jack, but there's a situation where you got a kid who's whacking away at your goalie. The puck's right there. I mean, there's only one way to move him, and that's to put him down. And
that's what he did.
There's a time, unless you're taking someone's head off, that it's questionable. I never saw what Andy did now. If he threw a punch at him or whatever.
I think he just sort of grabbed him around the body and threw him down like a wrestling move.
Well, I believe when they're near the net at this age that you can't be running them or hurting them, but you got to get them away from the net. The puck's right there. That's the play.
So North Bay with a 2-man advantage now for a minute. There's the shot, wide by Filiatro. Boucher, back to the point. Filiatro can't control it. Gets it again. Paquette. Boucher. Gets it into the slot. Schuler blocked there nicely by Scott. Cubs really doing a good job of getting to the man with the puck and forcing them to hurry everything here. Paquette. Gets it back again. Over to Filiatro. Bladed. Comes right out front. Oh, Menard tried to bring it to the forehand and put it in the open side, but he couldn't control it, and he was checked. They keep it in. Boucher lets it go, and Willard stops it, and Boucher goes into the goaltender. He's taken down heavily, and I think maybe Mr. Boucher is going to get a penalty here.
He may. He definitely continued his momentum forward and went into the goalie.
I think Freddie was pointing at him right away.
Those three kids out there, Joel, Scott Brown, got to give them a lot of credit for killing that. I'm sure North Bay had their better players on the ice, and they handled it very well. They had one shot on net there, and that was it. It was a good chance, but Willard was right there.
Yeah, I think Boucher's going to go here.
He very well. I
going.
think he continued his momentum into the goalie.
Brown's going over that. Two penalties to North Bay and one to the Cubs.
Well, the Cubs don't want to lose these kids that are on the ice right now. With Major already in there.
I'm wrong. 2 apiece?
That hurts the Cubs, if anything. I realize Boucher's off, but...
Boy, oh boy, is there enough guys over there now? I think so. So it's a saw up there. So North Bay remains on the power play. 2-man advantage here for 14 seconds, unless somebody got a 4-minute in there. I'm not sure about that.
Curious to see what the call is, Jack. I would guess it's an even it out call. No doubt.
It does look kind of strange. There's not enough room in that penalty box.
Well, Major is serving at 10, so he's the extra body in there. The other two minors are going, and the two kids just went off, Scott and Joel.
Freddie doesn't have enough room on that sheet. He's fill it in. You have to write on the back. 6:26. Been a lot of penalties in this game. It hasn't been the type of game where there's been a lot of fighting or foolishness. It's just a lot of...
It's one of the games, Jack, where we talked about last year. We'd walk away with a victory, but we wouldn't sleep at night. We'd wonder, what can we do to stop the penalties or whatever, the lack of momentum in a hockey game in this rink. It's amazing. This rink is definitely the toughest to play in for the Cubs in the league. The other rinks, the penalties do not seem to happen like this. Now, whether our refs are under a little different, not rules, but maybe a no tolerance type theory versus when we go to Sudbury or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the games here on Friday night. There's less flow than in most rinks.
Yeah, you're right. And from my perspective up here, as I said to you, I like a game with a lot of flow, and I like a referee who doesn't call every little thing that goes on. Tonight, I think we've seen just about everything called. And
well, what happens is the frustration. I mean, if you happen to get a cheap penalty, and then someone does the same thing to you, and you wonder why he doesn't get it. But on the other side, if anyone's ever been out there reffing, the angles are different. It's a fast game. You're trying to watch 10 players, and you got 2 eyes, and you know, the memory of MacArthur is still there. There's only so many MacArthurs that had eyes in their back of their head.
MacArthur's going to watch this and say, now why are those guys talking about me? I'm not even at the arena.
I'll tell you, I had the pleasure of playing when Mike reffed, and that was fun. And I had the pleasure of lining when he reffed, and that was more fun. It was like a team, and it was so much fun, and the discussions in the dressing room, and it was just a great time, and I think that's why I did it for 3 or 4 years before I got into coaching, because guys like Mike that were around, it was just a lot of good times.
5-on-3 situation here in North Bay, Danny, so this is their opportunity now to get back even in this game.
The Cubs should have a man out shortly, unless they got an extra penalty there.
There's Lucente, gonna let it go. Whoa, and he fired that way wide. And it comes to the side, and Jason Willard gonna keep it out. He's played well since coming into the game.
He has, Jacker. You know, you can't mark a shot on net on that play, but he was in position, came way out, cut down the angle. The North Bay number 19 didn't have much to shoot at, fired it high, and Jason quickly scrambled back to cover up the puck inside the net. Really good hustle play by Jason Willard. You know, how do you talk about a goalie hustling? But he sure did.
Yeah. So a 1-man advantage now North Bay for 54 seconds. Cubs are going to get it, and Siemens clearing attempt went right over the glass, and Larry Paymont ducked there. It's the first time I've seen Larry move that quick since they opened Wendy's.
Yeah, that's true. There's another guy I get the pleasure of playing old-timers hockey with now. He sure makes the rest of us look fast, Jack.
I bet he does, eh? Just the fact that he's at his age still playing is
Oh,
amazing.
it's great. Great to see a guy like that out there, and he does more than just well. He's very good.
Here's Paquette. Throws a weak shot in wide of the goal, and Cubs are going to get it out. Krieger lifts it high in the air. Miller falls. Filiacho around behind the net. 31 seconds left in this North Bay power play. 5:41 to go in the third. Cubs lead 5-4. Here come the Trappers in the slot area. Vicente, and he gives it away. And here's Krieger. Paquette gets back. Krieger shoots right on. Rebound. And he shot it in behind the net. That's the first real burst we've seen out of Krieger tonight.
Yeah, he had a couple of that. Actually, this shift, you want to keep face off.
There's
Good play
Willard
there.
again, coming up with a big save. As Menard took the pass.
Real good save by Jason. He's really played well. Came in a tough spot, like you said, pulled off the bench, and they have not got one by him. He's played aggressive, played well. They haven't had an awful lot of shots on him, but they've had 5 or 6 real good scoring chances.
5:12 to go in the third. Face off in the Cubs zone. Scramble for the puck, and coming away with his McCrank. Jeff McCrank. Up for Brown. Lets it go. It was a weak shot. Westfield stopped it. Trappers will clear it around the boards, and out they'll come. Boucher catching up to that puck. Or rather, that was Baldwin.
Boucher's still in the box, yeah.
That's right. Saw the 0, didn't see the 1. Ringler for North Bay had his shot blocked. Pulled down. McLean stood up by Evers at the line.
There's a situation that blue line when McLean took a little too long to get it out. 1 goal game near the blue lines. You got to dump it in and dump it out.
Hodge behind his own net. 4:14 to go. Cubs make a change. Alexander on the ice. Bazinet. Having a little trouble with it there. Rivard right on him too behind the net. Seaman from the point. Ooh, that was a tricky shot. The North Bay defenseman Bazinet touching it there. Now Rivard intercepts it, centered it right in front, and Burnham couldn't control it. And the Trappers just get rid of it to center. Here's Jake Gibson firing it in. Paquette hits it up. That's broken up, and back into the North Bay zone it goes. I guess the instructions now, Dan, from the coaching staff, just don't let your man get away and back check hard. Here's Lucente going to the net, and he fired it high, and Willard got a piece of it.
Real good stop there. Seaman came across to help his partner Peterson, who got lost a bit there, and blocked a bit of the angles where the player had to shoot from the side.
North Bay trying to center it. Miller hustling, trying to get it out. Peterson. Puck comes right out in front, and Willard's going to freeze it. And now we get some bodies back on the ice out of that penalty box.
It's a good time for a whistle. I think the kids were tired that was out there. And Robbie May has shown a little bit of his age there. Got beat along the boards, panicked a little bit. And he's pretty poised for his age. I think by Christmas he's going to be very, very steady out here. Very impressed with Jonathan Seaman tonight. Major in the penalty box, as well as Joyelle for about the last 4 minutes. Seaman played a lot of minutes there. Did a good job back there.
Boucher on the ice, wins the draw, gets to Schuler. Trying to get to the net. He's cut off. 4 Cub players back there. The Cubs get away with it. Here they come. Scott offside at the line. You could hear the coaching staff yelling, dump it in, and he didn't. And
there's a situation where, you know, Claude's hoping for the dump in so you don't lose it near the blue line. But Sean didn't make a bad play there by carrying it. McLean has to stay onside. You can't go offside. You got to be half a stride back and make sure the puck's over before you go. Right now, they don't have to beat the other team to the other end of the end of the ice, North Bay's end. They got to make sure they're in a back check position.
Boucher I have a funny feeling he's going to play the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds here. Here he comes, in over the line. Gets it over! Menard! Oh! And he just missed. I think Willard got a piece of that.
He did, Jack. Got his toe. I think that was a big save.
Every time Boucher decides he wants to do something, he creates something. Something comes out of it.
He's very creative, and the players, the centers that are against him have to turn with him, and maybe that's a little bit what the Cubs lack a little bit this year with is a skater to go with them at times.
Here's Brown back the other way. Backhand shot by Scott. Restool's down, he's got it. That comes off. 2:05 left in the third period. 5-4 for the Cubs. And if they can hang on for this win, Dan, you'd have to say it was a pretty darn good comeback, being down 4-1 at one point.
Oh, it's a big 40 minutes that they've played here. It's been tremendous. Now, I saw Dave Brown, where you see where a year makes a difference coming off the ice, talking to the kids going on about to stay out of the penalty box. And he's showing some leadership, and he's the type of kid in the dressing room last year that everyone liked. And it's good to see him with a letter on his sweater, and it's nice to see him talking out there, coming off to the kids about what they should be doing out there on this shift.
Hodge from the draw. Skated out himself. Plays it up. It's by everybody. Jake Gibson's going to pick it up. And he gets rid of it, an open wing down the ice. Hodge after it. Seaman will play it in. 1:41 to go. 5-4 Cubs. Oh, here's a Schuler trying to catch up to a loose puck. Couldn't control it, and it's cleared away by Seaman. North Bay getting rid of it to the Cub line. Gibson will shoot it into the crowd with 1:22 left. We'll have to watch Restool, see if he heads to the bench soon for that extra attacker.
I'm sure we're going to see a timeout very soon here, Jack, by whatever team feels like the right players aren't rested. The Cubs just got away with one. Jake Gibson was not coming back as hard as he could there. The puck floated by him, and the North Bay player almost took advantage of it. You have to hustle at all times. You got to expect someone on your back.
So many penalties called in this game. The referee, Freddie Ribe, is over there trying to figure out what's going on that score sheet.
I think the young fellow over there wants a raise, Jack.
He's confused. Greg's just coming out. He should have been out before this, maybe. Because you said it was maybe a couple
Should have been 2 minutes,
yeah.
2:02 or something like that, Jack. I don't know if there was a whistle since then, but... Tell you what, he's well rested.
Yeah, get him out there. Here's Boucher.
You got the right guy on him. Sean Scott can stay right with him.
Restool was halfway to the blue line and had to retreat when the puck came back. Boucher trying to get loose at center. Brown hustling back there, dumping it into the North Bay zone. Paquette plays it up. Boucher couldn't control it. Less than a minute to go now. 5-4 Cubs. We'll watch Restool. He can't get to the bench because the Cubs are controlling the puck. North Bay will try it again. Everybody up for the Cubs forechecking. Look at Dave Brown hustle. Great play by Dave Brown. Grieger right on it. 35 seconds.
That's where Alex stayed in there. You got to be careful. You got to make sure you get the puck in deep.
North Bay now, the clock working against them. They'll keep it in and glove the head. Good call by Freddie Ribe there.
That's a good call for sure.
24 seconds left in the third period. Face-off will come outside the Cub blue line. North Bay will have everybody up here. The goaltender's on the bench. Just what we wanted to see.
No, it would be definitely a timeout here, Jack. I keep saying it. I'm bound to get it right here.
Hey, I'll tell you, this is a heck of a lot better than 10-2 last week.
Well, I was going to say, I mean...
Timeout, North Bay.
You mentioned to me that you're going to do this once in a while with different people, and I have to thank you for letting me do a game like this.
Well, I would have got you earlier, but you went away. You're lucky you went away.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to come back again and do another one, though.
Yeah, I hope so.
No problem?
The unfortunate thing with the way the league is set up, I think we only see North Bay up here 3 times. and we got 2 over already. We're only going to see them one more time probably before the playoffs. And I'm sure you're looking at the 2 teams will be in the finals of the playoffs.
Yeah, that'll be a good series, won't it?
Oh, it sure will. Well, we're talking way ahead of ourselves, but these 2 are the class of the league, and
something dramatic would have to happen between now and then.
And what's nice for the people of Liskeard, they get to come back, and hopefully the Cubs will keep going, and North Bay will keep going. We'll get to see these guys 3 or 4 more times in this rink.
Well, North Bay is going to have to win their way here in April for the All-Ontario, and they probably have to go through the Cubs to get there.
They will, and you know, I mean, we haven't. I guess we haven't seen Sudbury yet, but you know, unless they improve, I think we're looking at the 2 teams right here.
Okay, here we go. 24 seconds. North Bay net is empty. Puck's along the boards. In over the line it comes. Here they come. Boucher trying to get to the net. Major's there. They take a whack at it. Major's going to get the puck, and he's going to get it out. 11 seconds left. There's a shot at the empty net. Knocked down by Lucente. 5 seconds to go. And that will do it. The Cubs will win this hockey game. A tremendous comeback, Danny. Two different hockey games there.
Oh, for sure, Jack. The Cubs had a great second half. Unbelievable second half. And, I mean, the start of the game, I was worried about picking 3 stars. I got about 8 guys named here. I got to go with Sean Scott as number 1, Jack. I thought he was solid from the drop of the puck. Number 2, I'm going to go with Dave Brown. And number 3, I'm going to go with Jonathan Seaman. A tremendous third period. Filled the hole when Major went over to the penalty box and lost Royale for 4 minutes. An honorable mention to Jason Willard. Came in, played 30 minutes. Outstanding goaltending. I mean, how can't you give him a star? Got to give him, I guess, 4 star, whatever.